The only trouble with sitting this side of the caravan, as I realised that it's actually.
There we go.
Oh, straight out of the table.
How do I do this again?
Happiness is just a delusion.
How does this work again?
Oh, we're live apparently. Hello.
Greetings, boys and gits. Welcome to another one of those things where those old gits moan about those things that they love.
all the things.
Everything in life.
Like focus.
Tim, are we actually live or what? What's going on?
Well, my YouTube notification just came up and told me we were, so I presume we are, Dim.
Just kind of, it's a ropey start, but just having a look now.
But it's a start.
Thanks for the countdown.
All the things.
Yes, well, we must be.
As professional as ever.
Well, today's video is just a live stream, obviously, and we're just going to be doing a little bit of hobby and chatting, as per the thumbnail. So yeah, that's all we're doing really. Go on.
Hang on. Just wait a minute for the. Why is it doing this?
We're broadcasting to the nation, to the world.
And while I wait for you, I'm going to eat my chocolate lolly.
Oh,
Cool.
I've got a horrible feeling. Give me a minute.
It's a chocolate Santa lolly.
It was. You've killed them.
It was. I have eaten his head off.
I was going to say, lots of countries have the Santa Claus or similar type of character in their sort of local legend and mythology. And the one thing they've all got in common is the head. So by biting that off, Toby, anyone?
Fingers crossed.
Ooh.
Yes. Bastard cock.
It
means, well, obviously. Is it working?
Yeah, completely
I was being a fucking idiot. And I had the thing looking at the wrong thing. I was like, why isn't it showing zoom? Oh, that's right. I have to have the zoom window actually up.
So progress report.
Making a very, very good argument for having two monitors and not having two monitors.
Or even just having a monitor in front of you that you can see.
Yeah.
I do want a second monitor.
Yeah, I want a second one. I don't know where the fuck it's going to go, but I want one.
That's a problem.
I like
Space.
Not one. Look. Fucking hell. Help us out here, Will. What's going on?
So, hello, and welcome to the Warboss show, apparently. And today, we're doing hobby.
Hobby.
Probably because I'm really ill and couldn't do the edit yesterday. So, unfortunately, live stream it is. Here we are.
You. Well, who's doing what hobby-wise then? Who's doing hobby and who ain't? And who's doing what? Who's got things that they need to be doing?
I'm hobbying.
Are you? Good man. So am I.
I'm doing my part.
Are you? Oh, good.
Sorry. I'm making Grot Stormboys is what I'm doing.
Very nice. I wish I was doing a build project.
I've got loads of shit on the desk. I might do something. I don't know yet. I've got to clear a space first. I've literally got him from work about 10 minutes ago. So.
Yeah, I need to write a list of all the things I've got to do. Yeah. I'm not talking about, I'd like to do this. I'm talking about, he has half a thing. Let's get it finished. Yeah. And then work my way through them. I've done that once before, and I've got about 7 projects finished. Not like in a night. You know, it took like, a few weeks or whatever it was, months maybe. But I managed to work through them, and the only one I didn't actually get done, because I didn't have, it was just like I kind of wanted to do, was a biplane. and I think it's because I wanted to use the Orc kit with an extra set of wings, and when I looked at it, it was like, this would be the fucking biggest biplane in the world. It just looks huge.
I made a list like that. In fact, I made several lists like that. I can remember right at the beginning of starting my channel as it goes. And yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm nerdy there on some of them.
You get there. The power of lists, man.
Soon, I will be able to start an actual new project. Something like new. Not just like old stuff that I've had lingering around, which I'm painting at the moment. Now, well, I'll talk about what I'm painting at the moment. So, for various different lists that I'm putting together, but particularly ones that I want to be playing soon, I am painting my 5 Flash Gits and Bad Ruck, and my 5 Storm Boys with Knob, and also touching up some of my Mega Knobs because they weren't quite finished when I used them last time we played. And same with my Grot tanks. There's a bit of touching up on them as well. And yeah, that's mainly what I'm focusing on today. But also, I did actually, I've got something to show everybody as well. I actually finally, now, you remember my...
No, we're live.
Remember the Cromlech Grot tank? Not Grot tank, Tiger tank even.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go canvas down for this, actually, it'd be much easier. Try not to give you crotch cam.
You pay extra for
He
that.
means his cock.
Yeah, I do. Right, so there's the tank. Right, so I've just recently managed to, brilliantly, I'm so glad, get hold of, finally, the death roller for this thing. So I've got to obviously make it magnetised. I need a bit slightly wider plate for it, but that can sit on the front there then. And then it can be a nice proper battle wagon if you want it to be. I mean, I'm running it at the moment as a big track because it's got big tracks. I figure.
That is a big truck.
Yeah, it can be if you want it to be.
Oh, Voodoo's just saying in the comments that you call yourself a freebooter and you're only just getting around to doing Bad Ruck and your Flash Gits.
Yeah. Yes. I've got actually lots of Flash Gits planned, lots more. But I had some that I partly built, and then I had a couple that I did one that the one I like the most actually is the one I did from Git Stomper or whatever his name was, the new version of the old Gorkamorka Orc.
Mm-hmm. The Games Day one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm planning to make a Flash Git from that. Must have been your idea.
It was my idea.
That was Din's idea, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, can you see that?
Silhouette. Shadow puppets. Go more to your left.
There you go.
Hey.
So he's got a different shoulder pad and a different gun. That's all, and a different head.
Apart from that, he's original.
Yeah. Apart from that, it's getting stomped.
Triggers, no, was his name? Yeah. Is it?
You know, I do like to have one of everything in my collection. one of everything modified. That is.
Yeah, no.
I mean, even my Bad Ruck is the old metal one, but I have changed his head. He's a different head. He's got a... I think it's Cromlech. Can't remember whose head that was. It's a different head.
I do like the Bad Ruck model, though. I think it's a cool model. I do like him.
Yeah, he's cool enough. And I like him because you can just, like I've done, I've given him an older captain-looking head, and I think he's an old-timer. It doesn't have to be a huge, bulking, great big, like, not every boss has to be. So I can have him like that as a little character that comes in and maybe helps out, and then it doesn't get in the way of any Warboss. Then he's not really coming and stealing the show. He's just like someone who's oh, look at him, he's well famous, isn't he? Fucking hell, look, he's come to join the fight. Nice.
And he's smaller in real life.
He was massive. I'm gonna go and
The thing is, he probably did shrink. like as he got older, and you know, if an orc warboss gets bigger as he's on the ascendancy, when he is on the descendancy, even if it's still quite ascendant, you're gonna get a bit smaller, I suppose. But I done a kit bash Badrock, and yeah, I didn't go for the smaller. It's just
No.
that was me.
Oh, have you guys seen War Game Exclusive has started doing a range of dead versions of each of the Xenos races? So they did some like dead Tau, I think it was, but they've just done some dead orcs and they actually look pretty good, to be honest. You know, like it's nice to have a few for various products without having to buy a fucking great big marine character killing them or something, you know.
Yeah. So, well, that was the Badrock I've kid bashed up. He's really just a Warboss.
Nice.
I do love that.
Piratey Warboss, but I'll run him as Badrock.
Yeah, nice.
Skeletal pirate, I'll tell you. And garish enough to fit with the rest of me flash kits. Oop, mouse.
I don't think there's a problem having a couple of versions of the character anyway. Like, I mean, with Gazgul, for example, I've got the official model. I haven't put it together yet. I've got the old model. I've got the really old model. So I've got 3 there in the GW range as it is. And then I've got the Iron Boss from Artel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very, very, very tempted by another one that Artel does as well, which is their actual Gazgul. It looks fucking it looks way more savage, way more brutal, and way more like Gaz. It is a true rendition of Gaz as far as I'm concerned, compared to the GW one. It's way better.
The GW one's good, but
it's cool.
He's got a tiny head, and I can't unsee it.
He does. He's all armor, and he's a little bit cartoony. He's very. I mean, that claw is savage, but the one that Artel does, I can't remember what it's called. But it's got his face and, you know, his head and everything right. You know, he just looks really like, you know, the Lord of War that he is. More so.
A bit more brutal.
Yeah. So I'm very
that's the most important model from the Gaz kit anyway. I mean, I don't know what you fucking losers are doing, wasting your time with the Orc. Get over it. Got Mackie back. And if we follow my headcanon, he's not dead, so fuck you all.
Actually, I ended up with 2 of them, I think, of the new Gazes. I don't know how. I think I got 2.
But you didn't get one from me. I didn't even buy the box. But I did. No. I did know, like, a friend basically doubled up the orcs, and just came up to me and went, "There you go. I knew you only wanted one thing from the kit anyway. There you have it. Doing something else with a gas, but you can have the grot." And I was like, "Quid's in." So
nice.
So our result. Right. Decide where we're going to start in painting.
Have I actually got 9 of these, or have I just got 8?
I know what you mean, though, about the GW guys being a bit. I've said it before. It does look like there's a hatch on the back of the armor, and you could open it and step out of it and go for a cuppa, and the armor would still be stood there, probably with the face, and then you just walk along and climb up a ladder back into it because it is just a tiny head, and the rest of it is just the armor. Whereas Iron Boss, who was the first one I got from Artel, he's just a fucking monstrous orc. Huge arms, huge barrel. I didn't want to stick the chest armor on him because he's got these massive orky titties and his stomach lumps, and he just looks insane. It's all just pants, and there's a couple of braces down the side to like knee joints and that, which I have not exoskeleton, whatever, and a couple of armor like shoulder pads and that. Other than that, it just looks like a huge orc. Plus, he's lunging, which makes him a bit shorter, but he's still about. Height.
I think also with that GW one, what you just said, the idea of someone or an orc climbing in and out, that would be just an insanely good conversion for someone to do. Is actually to take that, not put their head in it, put the hatch on the back and actually put the head on a body that it sort of fits, which will probably be quite a small orc.
Just a
And
small
having-
boy just climbing up the back.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's doable.
Oh, pretty cool, yeah. Right, so I've got to decide what I'm painting. Don't know about you lot, but I've got a few things in front of me. It's where to start a lot of the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a damaged boss pole on these knobs that's going to get... Oh, is it repairable? It's going to snap in it.
It is a bit weird that they've gone for like the small head on Ghazi, because I mean, like the Black Library novels have never shut up about how all of the important sort of warlords of the history of 40k are all just the most important thing to know about them is they're really, really big. And then with
Massive.
Gaz, they're just kind of going, yeah, we'll make his armor really, really big, but not him. And it's just like, does the one half of you want to have a word with the other half and figure out what you're going to do? Like one thing that's consistent, you know? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
well, no, the orcs get really big for being aggressive. Yes, I know. And can you think of anybody more aggressive than a guy who's like, right, I'm just going to get every orc and fuck the whole universe up? Has there been any other orc that's had that idea?
Well, I think I'm going to
Probably
paint
not.
some because I have just today, or yesterday, purchased some Contrast Black Legion. I've used the Contrast Black Templar before, and that's not got great coverage, and it's a slightly blue-black, sort of a greyish black. Whereas apparently this Contrast Black Legion is a proper black, so I'm going to give that a whirl.
It's good that the Black Legion is very good.
Well, I'll sure soon give you a
Red review.
Dread review.
Don't forget the taste.
Keith's just saying, Keith Gross just saying that Artel makes some awesome orcs, but all their orcs have only got 4 fingers.
Yes.
It's very true.
They're all
It's
like
very
turtles.
Yeah.
And when I say turtles, I don't mean an actual turtle. I mean a mutated turtle that's going to approximately teenage years. And then
might,
kung fu.
might be an expert in karate.
Or do they only have 2 fingers? Am I thinking of The Simpsons? The Simpsons only have 3 fingers and a thumb.
I thought it was 4. Oh, 3 fingers in front of me.
Yeah. You don't really notice it on the Artel orcs until, like, they're doing something with the hands, which obviously them are.
Yeah.
Like that rock band I've done recently. The lead
Yeah.
singer's doing that. He's got like 1 finger in between. That one's not there at all. And it's just a bit. Yeah.
It's hard. It's one of those ones where you go, well, how am I going to explain that in my orcs army? Well, maybe they just grow from a slightly different fungus. So the mushrooms just very slightly different. I don't know. Or maybe they'll become. Maybe as there becomes more and more Artel miniatures in my orc force, there might become a rebellion between the fucking 3-finger orcs and the 4-finger orcs. Fucking war between them.
Did you? Do you remember Postman Pat?
Yes, of
The
course.
kids' TV show, obviously.
That's
Like,
really nice.
Pat only had 3 fingers and a thumb, and because of that, as did everybody else in
In the show.
I can't remember where he's from. Simon Sam was Pontypandy, wasn't he? Anyway, wherever he's from, he only had everyone just had the 3 fingers and the thumb, and that's why that show couldn't have been shown in Japan. It was banned from Japan because having only the 3 fingers, essentially having one missing, is a sign of the Yakuza or some bullshit like that. So I thought Pat was actually in the Yakuza.
That's so sad.
Unless that was just horse shit that went around it.
Probably.
It does make you wonder what he's been shoving through that letterbox, doesn't it?
Oh, Pat. Knew you were so fishy about him.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Especially with that ginger kid. Yeah. That's probably almost definitely his son.
He was ginger himself, Pat.
Yeah.
I remember he took his hat off in one episode.
No.
He was ginger. Your mum made us stop watching after that.
Pat and Fireman Sam and
He might have just caught gingivitis.
they kind of like, you know, they teach little kids about what community is, in a sense. You know, like you've got all the different people in the community. They've all got their little role. I like that. It's nice. You know?
Wonderfully naive, isn't it?
Such a cynic you are, Tim.
What?
You're such a cynic.
I mean, yeah.
The thing is, you can't all be like that when you're the postman in a town with 4 houses. Well, that's an easy job, that. Like,
Yeah.
first house, there you go. He's a favour. Drop them at next door, will you? Yeah, you're off for the day. 8:30. 8:30. 8:30. I'm done for the day. Oh, well, Jess, let's go to the red line. And that was it.
Down the pub.
Yeah, that's where he's off to.
Oh. Well, I can't do any hobby until I go inside and get some paper for my wet palette. So I'm going to slope out for 2 secs and grab my wet palette stuff, because literally I got in, turned the camera on, we went live. So I'm going to go grab that quick.
What we talk?
Yeah, you
I'll
want,
be
you
back.
want to make your
Next
presentation
time.
more palatable. Yeah.
Let's see how long we think it's going to be.
So I need to get some hairs out from underneath the armpit of that dude that I just noticed.
Oh, I dropped your gyro. Sorry. Size mentioning Barrow Pat.
Yeah, well,
You go to paint stuff and you realise, there's a load of fucking paint or a load of hair stuck to the paint from God knows when. Gonna get them out now before they get stuck there forever. Okay, he looks suitably ready to go. He's gonna wear black, and he's gonna have. Let's go for some of this contrast black then. Let's have a go. I want to go cameras down, bitches.
Go camera down. Go cameras down.
Don't miss fucking mold points on metal fucking models, Jesus.
So, Dim,
You-
Grot Storm Boys.
Yeah.
What makes a Grot Storm Boy? Like, are you sticking rockets on Grots?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
I'm using the Blood Bowl goblins, which, you know. Yeah. This camera's not good for detail. And the other one's not either because it's dead. And I've got the phone looking at the comments, so I can't even set that up to swap over.
People chatting in the chat.
People are chatting in the chat. It's all chatty.
People are chatting in the chat.
Chatty. I'll see what I've got here. I'll go. Camera down. Black camera down. Not Black Hawk down, but whatever. Well, I've got this little fella who is the arms and legs out of the Sisters of Battle Penitent engine, I think it is, and a Imperial Guard body and head. So that's the head looks a little bit. Oh, there's me. I forgot to put my light on.
Yeah, sorry, Sid. I was asking what kit that crucified guy came from.
He's 2 kits. It's like I say, the arms and the legs are from the Penitent engine. I think that's what it's called, the Sisters of Battle one. That's you know, there must have been options though, because the sprue I was gifted didn't have like any bodies or heads to it, so I just stuck the standard Imperial Guard torso and head into it. But he's an angry head, and if you put it back into the side, it looks like he's in agony. and I stuck a couple of shoulder pads on to hide some wonky joints.
Uh-huh.
But there's another one down here somewhere. Nope, made liar of us. He's escaped, but he had a big helmet on. So I'm going to have him mounted on a particularly brutal boss's back banner,
Nice.
kind of being not crucified as such because he has got nails in his
That would
feet.
make him quite cross.
It would make him very cross indeed.
Old Steve-O's in the chat.
But yes, that's
Don't make a big deal about it.
Oh,
oh, you dirty fucker! You see that? Flew like a board. So he's going to be mounted on this pole somehow, and then I think at an angle like that, and then behind it, I want something like not this one; it's too small and weedy, but a sort of a glyph plate, acting like a sail behind it, and then a skull on top, and maybe a crossbar, depending how I attach the dude. I haven't quite decided yet.
so what's this dude for, Sid?
This is going on. I've been making
Those
Oh,
squid
well.
hopper. That idea is something I want to do, but I didn't know how much I wanted to do it, to be fair, until I saw you do it. And then I was like, I have to do it now. That looks so good.
I got these
Oh, yeah.
Mangler squigs. I'll put the Ashington twang on it. Mangler. And I got those at Element Games after Hale's Warcon.
Yeah.
HaleCon, I forgot what it's called. Warcon.
Walk on
And-
there.
Yep. So I got these two, and I decided I wanted to make beast bosses on Squigger swords with them.
Yeah.
So, anyway, without any paint on yet, that's the first one. Yep.
Oh, what a
Mhm.
beast. He looks so
Yeah.
good.
An
So good.
Ogre.
And of
Right,
course,
I
Are
haven't
we
got
getting
one of these-
the
Oh, there's his flag. But I've
getting the
left.
preview? Lovely.
Yeah, a little preview. Yeah, a video will come soon. I haven't
you
done
know,
that flag on yet because I want to be able to get in with a brush and paint a little bit of nonsense on these on both sides.
when
Yeah,
I had when I had that idea, I didn't realise it looked so good.
Well, he's the cunning one. As you can see, he's a big lad, but he's not that big.
Oh shit, I've gone on the wrong one.
So the brutal one is this fella.
Holy shit.
So he's got the reins in his mouth.
His legs are wider apart than a bloody flash gets.
Just about. He's proper Jean-Claude Van Damme in it.
Look at that.
Big
Yeah.
shotty on the back, chain to his belt.
Uh-huh.
I thought about giving him a knife on his belt like the other one, but at the end I give him another axe because fucking axes. But look at the size of his back, man. He's a fucking monster.
He's a beast, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a cool mini.
And I'm mounting him since he hasn't actually got that squig hasn't got any bases. Like that one's got attachment to a base.
Yeah.
Whereas this one hasn't. So I've stuck some rocks together.
Ah, yeah, nice.
And
Is that part of Hadrian's Wall?
it maybe one day, maybe. And then he will be basically flying over those rocks
Yeah, nice.
like that.
Has he got a foot on the pinned bit? Has he actually got a full foot on? Or have you got to sculpt something?
No, yeah, he's got full feet.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, right, yeah. Yeah,
I
nice.
had to cut some of those toes off though,
Yeah,
and reposition them sort of like lifted up, just so he can actually when I put the pin into his little under chin, that foot fits on the rock.
on the rock. Yeah, nice.
And it'll be slightly tipped forward as if it's barreling down on someone. And I might stick like this one's having a little squig on the base, run alongside him and a few odds and ends like that. I don't know, I might do something similar with him. But this pole is going on the back here, hence I've put this little
Yeah, I see.
section on there. I just stuck that on. I think it was off
That's an engine cover, isn't it?
off one of those Zinge engines.
Zinge, yeah.
So I don't know how it doesn't look very good, but
Mm.
I've put it on. I padded up the green with green stuff, and I kept the strap running up, trying to make it out of green stuff
Yeah, nice.
on that side. So hopefully, once that's painted, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that just sits on like that.
Yeah, sweet.
So I'll do a big sail coming off the back, big squiggy sort of glyph thing, like that sort of shape. And then the dude slightly leaning forward on that.
The
Because,
banner on there, yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Very nice.
that's what I should be working on tonight.
Yeah, it's
Now
not
finished by the end of the stream, yeah?
You never know.
And painted, hopefully.
Yeah, we're going to have fun. Huh? Now you're just being silly.
Well, I don't know. I've seen the speed you work at, mate.
No pressure. I mean, not necessarily going to affect me too much, but is the is Zagstruck still in rules, or have they removed him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't get the model anymore, can you?
Yeah, I think you can. Fine
'Cause
cast.
didn't a couple of them go missing? Because you can't get.
It's got to be during soon, isn't it?
I think he'll come
I'd
back
say.
in plastic, but yeah.
Never know. You might be the one coming with the codex.
Oh, yeah, that's too good, that. I'm thinking, right, I want to put him on there. I want to fasten these little manacles around his feet to the pole and have him slightly leaning forward, just about that much. So I thought I'd have like something tied around the pole which goes around his neck. And I've just found this that I was using to clean my airbrush with the other day.
Oh, yeah.
A loop with twisted wire, so I can get that around his head and just twist it up. It's all
Like
buckled.
noose.
And that. It's all buckled for like actual cleaning now. But yeah, I can make like a little.
Like a noose going around his neck, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
There's me modelling pliers. I need to loosen it up a bit.
Oh, very nice. Right, I have a palette. I have some paint. Some brushes.
Oh, that was the thing. I was making a point to just to try and avoid talking about the fucking red gobble bullshit. Cossack Man asked a question earlier.
Yes.
Any Warbosses play a fantasy game? If so, greenskins or other? Also, what games?
What was that? Sorry, greenskins or what? Sorry.
Greenskins or other. So, do we play greenskins in fantasy games?
Oh, I
do
see.
we play
Sorry,
fantasy games?
greenskins are over. Oh, yeah.
I'm doing Blood Bowl and Snotlings.
I hope that with the new game that they, Steve-O, I know, is hoping for the same thing, that they'll bring back the old miniature.
That is my
Yeah.
only hope and expectation for the entirety of Warhammer Fantasy, because I don't expect it to be a good game. So, but us getting the old Orc and Goblin kits that have gone missing, that would be grand. That would be great. If they do a new Doom Diver kit, I'll be all over that. If they bring back the old Doom Diver, I'll be all over that. I really want the Common Goblins back. I want those Wolf Riders back. They're just so useful as a Rebel Grot player. Like, I'm sitting here with like a Wolf Rider that I've been converting into a Stormboy Knob. Granted, the green stuff on that one is not good, because I did it years ago, decades ago, actually, thinking about it. Shit, fucking hell. That's awful. I started this a long time ago. But I've got like a... You can tell it started ages ago, because I broke up an old GW Lobber to turn into a big fuck-off rocket. Because I was like thinking, how do you have a Gobbo justify an Orc with a Power Claw? Answer, you make the Power Claw the rocket. And a big jagged edges coming off it, and I'm going to make it like a mini plane that hits it into you with a lot of force, and that'll justify it. And I've got this guy to ride on it, and for the rest of the boys, I'm just going to use Blood Bowl Goblins.
Just seeing there, Si, he's asking if I've got model and barbed wire. No, I don't.
I love that stuff.
Maybe I should get some.
Steve was saying, did you know Rick Priestley offered GW to write the rules for Warhammer the Old World, and GW declined? Of course they did. They don't like hiring talent. That's why we get the games that we get. Like, no, we're going to get some guys we dragged off the street and overwork them to make them do it. Yeah. It's a shame, really. It would have been a better game.
Right.
But the upshot for all of us is that we're going to get some natures that we can use. I think that's probably about all my expectation for fantasy. Although I am slightly worried that this is another Aeronautica Imperialis situation, where the support really goes before we get anywhere near anything we actually want. I mean, granted, with Aeronautica, orcs were well catered for, so it's not a good example, but I don't think it'll succeed. I want it to.
Do you know? I think Epic might do quite well.
Well, that Epic is deliberately designed to never include orcs, I suspect, because they've gone for the heresy. Because they've gone for the Horus heresy. They've just they've fallen into the old trap. I was watching when Scar visited recently, and when he was here, we watched an interview of Andy Chambers, and he was sort of saying criticisms that I've been saying about GW for years, and I have to say I found it sexually gratifying to watch. One of the things he was saying is like the Space Marines are so overdone, and because they pour a lot of effort into it, it sells. So they think that it sells, so they put more effort into it. And he's just saying the reason it's selling is because you're putting the effort into it. So if you put the effort into the other things, they would sell as well as Space Marines. Why aren't you doing the other things? And it's just, but they're just trapped in that thing of, well, this got results, so we'll double down on that.
Do it again. Yeah.
And that's the Space Marine trap, and they always fall into it all the time. So, well, Space Marines sell really well because it's the only thing they ever fucking bother with. It's like contrast the amount of kits, and then they went to Age of Sigmar and they inflicted the same problem on themselves with a fucking Stormcast who have everything. Like that was part of the reason why I quit Age of Sigmar was when they did one of the, I can't remember whether it was second edition or third edition. I've lost track at this point. There's been that many editions for a game that is fundamentally shit, and it still hasn't got rid of that stupid priority thing that a lot of people. Oh, actually, it's really good. No, it's not. It's boring. Anyway, like the fucking Stormcast got a chariot. I'm just like, I honestly thought they were phasing chariots out of this game because they haven't done one. And then the bloody Stormcast get one. They've just got they've got one of every type of thing. And I just thought you could have made an army that specialised in chariots that would have been interesting, that would have been different, that would have played interestingly. But you haven't bothered. You've just recycled a load of fantasy kits that you could, and occasionally let, the design team, I presume, smoke LSD when they make the new factions, because you'd need it for the designs that they come up with. And this game has such potential, Age of Sigmar. They've got so much potential with that game, way more than Fantasy has. Fantasy's just like Fantasy's medieval warfare with a coat of paint on it, with a bit of Renaissance and a bit of pike and shot thrown in. It's that's not going anywhere. Age of Sigmar is a skirmish that could be quite dynamic, and they've just turned it into a cartoon. I don't like it. Anyway, why the fuck have I got myself on this shit? Fuck.
Because you were talking about watching Jordan Sorcery and sexual gratification. Me and Scott didn't want to watch it, but you insisted.
No,
I
really
want
didn't
sexual
want
gratification.
I really didn't want to watch it.
Jordan Sorcery.
No, I'm not going to talk shit about another YouTuber, but I don't get why he's done.
I thought it was quite good.
I was surprised. I thought his smiles and nods were fake as fuck, but You know, like whatever.
Oh mate, that's noddies.
He gets,
That's noddies. You can't do that. I thought you done all right.
no,
Well,
I'm not gonna
because he
shit
shuts
on the
up
video.
and
Yeah,
lets them talk. And like I say, when you're doing it, there's no worse. Normally, when you do those noddies, as we used to have to do it when I was at college and that, you finish it, then you just sit. I put my camera on me for a sec. Then you just sit there for about 20 minutes afterwards, literally just going, they fucked off, and you're sitting there going. It's just doing it, just with somebody filming you going, you look a right prick. And you go, yeah, we're not going to use the sound or it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Noddies.
Noddy.
But he does get good guests, so
I've heard that he asks them if they want to be on.
Ah, do you reckon that's what it is?
I think that's the trick.
yeah.
The audacity.
He just asks them.
Just ask.
Straight up asks them. Bloody hell. What cheeky.
Cheeky Jordan.
Well, go on, Dread. You're a chirpy cunt.
Happy name, mind.
Dread's not afraid to ask shit like that. We should prod him to get someone on. I think we could get Chambers. Like, I would love to get Chambers on this. I would love it. It would be great.
What you ask him?
Yeah. I'm slightly too starstruck because I'm such a fucking raving Andy Chambers fanboy. To the extent
So we'll get him on, but we'll mute your
just to
microphone.
the what? You what?
We'll get him on, but we'll have to mute you.
Yeah.
Well, I think if we got him on, I think 6 people going all the same time.
Yeah.
Like, a little bit undoable. We'd need to get we'd
need to have a bit of structure, but yeah, it would be really fucking cool. I just, granted, me and Scar, we have a slightly anal retentive reason on because we just want to get him on to just confirm live on a video thing. No, Gazzy is not named after Margaret Thatcher, right? Because we've had him on Facebook. Say contacted him on Facebook to confirm it, like that it's apocryphal, because he based it off black speech. But people look for patterns, and it has enough of a ring to it. If there is even the slightest hint of it being based on it, it's subconscious because he won't confirm it. And Andy Chambers is not the kind of guy that would ever deny something like that.
On the subject of the Imperialists, I didn't get to speak because she was just rolling on one.
Pot calls kettle. Sorry, what?
I'm well looking forward to not getting involved with it because I would do if it had orcs or if it even had the hint that it was going to be epic, but it's not epic. So people should stop calling it epic because it's really not.
Yeah.
If it was, it isn't. It's
too early to tell.
It's the Horus Heresy, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's not what. If they'd have done epic, if they just said, "Look, we're going to do epic 40,000," everybody in Warhammer 40,000 is a potential customer and someone that would be excited about having miniature versions of their army. But they missed the trick, and instead they've done just the Horus Heresy stuff, which means a limited people are going to be interested, and a whole bunch of other people are just not going to. And a whole bunch of those people that might have been interested, even with Space Marines, won't be because they're like, I just won't get the opponents, the variety of opponents and stuff. It's just stupid. Either fucking put your ring in the hat or don't.
No, I think the bottom line is maybe they might have considered it, but the thing is, all it really was them finding a way to recycle the Forge World cards. That's what they were so fucking lazy. That's what they were going to do, right? Because they'd spent all that money getting all the Space Marines to look perfect in Horus Heresy. They've got those. They've got the Astra Militarum if they want, and they've got the fucking the Admech. Right, they've got everything. They've got all of the Horus Heresy range is in that convenient spot. So that's why they've done it, because they can make the same file they already have the right small to play in the game, and that's all it is. That's all it is. It's just after a quick book. They've not developed it. They've not put any effort into it. The only effort they got is they got someone to read the old Epic rule books and fart out a new rule set. And they probably spent like a couple of shifts knocking it out, if that.
Yeah.
And
what
that's the amount of effort that they've put into it, and then they just ask 1,000% more of the price for the effort.
So what I think they should have done, if it was me, what I'd like to have seen, and a company like GW that can totally afford it and has an expanding fan base at the moment, could really benefit from if they decided, right, we're going to do Epic 40,000. So we're going to do all of the races. We'll start off with a little starter set for each one, like a bit like the, even just like you've got your army box sets at the moment, have the same thing, but an Epic version of that for each army. Start off with that. And also, then, here's the insight, is do it in the same scale as you did Aeronautica. And include the Aeronautica miniatures in it. And then you've got another use for the Aeronautica miniatures. And anyone that bought into Aeronautica has got a jump start.
Well, it's a bit like do you remember that they did that back in the days with Epic? They got a few people trapped in Epic with that
Space
Orc bomber game. Bombers over right. Sulphur River, was it, or something like that? And they had the Epic bombers, the Epic Orc bombers, and then I think they had, I can't remember what the Imperial ones were. I think it was Thunderbolt and oh god, I'm not very good. I think there might have even been the Thunderhawks in there as well.
Thunderhawk gunship, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'd go mad on it. I'd buy fucking tons of it. I'd do an Orc army. I'd do an Imperial army. I might even do others. Fucking, I would. Because I love 40k. I do. But the thing is, like if you're mad collecting a particular army, like any one of us does, then you don't really have room for a second 40k army. Sometimes you might have, but you ain't got room for a third. That's for fucking sure. Whereas you can have a huge big army and not have, it only takes up a small space. You can literally have them in a fucking drawer for one army. You go boom.
And I'm kind of glad they haven't, though. I'm kind of glad they haven't, because I don't want orcs in another game, because I'll want them and I'll feel bad that I'm not going to buy them.
Well, they've lost out on my money. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad they're just keeping it to the Space Marines, because it means, oh great, there's something I'm not interested in. One of the things I liked about Horus Heresy was I don't have to pay any attention to it because I bored myself off Space Marines in 4th ed, right? So it's just I don't need to put my hand in my pocket. I don't really like Space Marines, so it's nice and easy for me to ignore.
That's what Epic was waiting for a long time.
If we got Epic back and we got if we got the really cool Orc vehicles and it wasn't just every one of these is just a battle wagon basically, but they all look different and pretty. But if they did all of the ones like the lung bursters and the lead belchers and the spleen rippers, and they brought and the speedsters, and they brought all of those back, I'd be good because I know I wouldn't be able to afford it. No way.
They can have buggers in that, sure, do that, but I can't imagine that they'd bring the old vehicles back. Even they'd have to stick with their new TM stuff,
Yeah. Although part of me thinks they actually would, because then they don't have to do any work to the rules, because they could just
use the old ones
from the old rules. There's less work to do. I mean, they basically did that with. When they did ApORKalypse was just the Epic rule set. So, I mean, that said, they could do that. They could just take the ApORKalypse rules and then port it back to a small scale and use the existing miniatures and the existing cards they've got and just come up with it. But I just don't know if they're ever going to do that level of it, and I certainly don't think you're going to see it soon, seeing as they've decided to revamp Fantasy, because that's going to take a lot of time out of their work. Granted, Forge World have perished. Good riddance. Happy day for me. Delighted. So it's now all rolled into one, so they'll probably find it easier to do projects, and they might get rid of this stupid and pointless feuding that they had behind the scenes, where they just like they just tended to fucking refuse to do shit out of spite, like you know, which is only really affecting the customer at the end of the day. It's not really affecting them that much, other than needless hostility that they don't need to have.
Looks like they've brought back some of the old Orc vehicles in the new Necromunda rule set, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That Elysian thing. No, the buggy.
Oh, you
The
mean
buggy.
they've literally just taken the Elysium dropship and just
Haven't
plugged it
they?
into Necromunda.
Yeah.
Tracing paper was involved. Like it's just the
What's
same
this?
file.
Is this a new flying thing for Necromunda?
No, it's a new buggy. It's a new buggy. It's a really cool buggy.
Sid, you're gonna love it, mate.
Yeah.
6-wheel buggy with the tube frame.
Yeah, that's it.
Looks weird.
Yeah, definitely very lootable for us. I mean, a load of us will use
Brilliant
it.
for us.
Yeah, I mean, I dread to think what it's going to fucking cost, like, but
I reckon
it's good to see it,
35 quid.
especially if it's plastic. Because I mean, I always admired that kit from afar, but I was never going to play it with resin.
Well,
but
they confirmed it's plastic.
I suspect it is. The like all the other Necromunda
For
vehicles are
Necromunda,
plastic.
it will be. I'm sure it will be.
I've not seen a Necromunda vehicle that is resin, so
No.
I suspect it's plastic. I don't know if it's confirmed.
Plastic.
If it's plastic, I just want those wheels. Just they'll look great on a vehicle that I like more.
Yeah.
Then I'm not saying I don't like it, because I do like the frame, but I mean the wonderful thing about having like a 2B frame like that is very easy to stick plastic card over the top of that. That's dead easy,
Yeah.
and you've basically just got your lines sorted for you. Be a great kit to use.
Voodoo's saying it is confirmed as plastic, so
Yeah, well, it
Nice.
was
Just
obviously-
that's me looking.
yeah.
It was obviously going to be plastic, though. It was blatantly going to be. There's no way they wouldn't have done that, because it's just.
It's obvious it was going to be.
Well, just because players will like, I think you're going to get an awful. It's a shrewd idea, because you're going to get a lot of Orc players. They're going to be like, "Yay, more bits!" And then you're going to have the Imperial Guard players are like, "Ooh, hello." And then probably you're going to get a lot of Genestealer cult players who will be like,
They do that a lot with a lot of the stuff that they do for Necromunda. It's like stuff that a lot of different factions could loot and
We
use.
are literally just talking about how good having crossover ranges are after Dread's rant about Epic. Just making a fucking case in point. We're talking about how cool to use Necromunda stuff. And none of us have got any intention of playing the new Necromunda. But we're buying the kits.
Yeah, I bought the bikes, didn't I, when I was up with you guys?
I got the jet bikes, because I'm going to turn them into grot fighters. Into like little MiGs. Or
I've got the
whatnot,
glove.
something like that.
It'd be
Oh,
awesome.
Cossack's saying that the new squat miner vehicle's resin, apparently.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
the Starbug
that
on
makes
truck.
it even more shit than it was.
Oh,
I
that's
think that. I just think
That's mad, isn't it?
I think it's an
But I'm
incredibly
sure-
dumb design.
I'm sure they had a big sort of, like the Ridge Hauler. I don't know if it was an older model, mind, or if it was like an add-on kit for that. So it was do the upgrade sprues. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there was some resin components for that.
Possibly. I mean, the thing is they were always going to make is that the Ridge Hall is like the thing that you made the fancy quad truck from, right?
I turned it into the
Big
Glasgow
track, a big
wagon.
track quad gun.
Yeah, and I think the little trucks here.
But yeah, it's the 18-wheeler in space, isn't it? That's the Ridge Hall, right?
It's basically, if you take off that bit from the front,
Yeah.
that bit from the back, that's off the Ridge Hall.
That was blatantly going to be plastic, because they built it around the stupid Imperial scenery, Gothic shipping crate kit that they already had.
Yes. I've still got that on the sprue.
So they were very obviously going to make the main body of it plastic to go with that kit. I'm guessing with the squat thing, it's probably supposed to be so big that it has to be resin, I suspect. Although I don't know why they've done that. I'm guessing.
It's a
Part
bit
of
of an
me
odd
is guessing-
choice.
I wonder if it's a legacy project from when Forge World still existed, and you're probably going to see a few things resin crop up. Then I suspect I think the resin's all going to be phased out. I suspect.
I don't know. Tommy Max just saying on the comments there, the Ridge Hauler with tracks was resin as well.
Yeah,
The upgrade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'll use plastic components.
Yeah, it was like the upgrade kit.
But again, that's Forge World legacy, because like that's what Forge World did. Like GW made a plastic kit, and then Forge World went, we'll do the upgrades for it in resin. So a lot of the Necromunda guns are resin. Like thinking of Blood Bowl, like, oh, do you want your team to have four different poses that you should have in the base kit? Well, buy these 4 resin miniatures, and like all the star players are resin.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, like sometimes that works incredibly well, like Glory or Summerbloom is an amazing sculpt, and then sometimes it really doesn't. Like that Chaos one, whose name I can't remember, that begins with H. Is it Harkoff or something? I really hate that. It just looks like a throwback to the old 5th Ed.
But it just
Chaos
seems weird because it feels
Warriors.
like that GW are trying to phase out Forge World, and then
good.
it feels like they're trying to phase out Forge World, but then they're not at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're doing it kind of the way they always do, phasing out. Like, I'm of a mixed mind, because I think the way they do it is probably the best way that one can, because it seems like GW don't really like people to think they've had something taken away. So what they do is they move it to a less noticeable position, and they let it slowly die, and then remove it. And then when people complain, they go, well, you didn't buy it. They did that with old Specialist games. When they phased Specialist games out, they did it slowly over time, and they just sapped away support until it wasn't selling very well, and they went, right, that's going. And then, eventually the Necromunda stuff did come back. It came back in plastics, so presumably they're probably going to do that with Forge World.
So
what about
the Space Marine range, when they just ripped a third of it away and went, this doesn't exist anymore?
I was kind of surprised they did that, but then they kept...
Yeah, but flies in the face of what they do is we slowly just choke something to death until it's...
Except
gone.
That's what they did with all of the Firstborn. In spite of the fact that they went, right, Firstborn's redundant, we had all of these years of loads of GW fans going, well, actually, you can still buy for Firstborn. But we all knew they were getting phased out. They've just kind of sped it up.
What about the old fantasy? They kind of fucked that. That's it. It's dead by his Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. Well, look how well that went.
Apart from all these massive examples that goes against it, that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, but they've done both, haven't they? It's not like they haven't done what I said. They have done what I've said. They've done it several times. But also, like, the thing is like, we know that they're phasing the resin out anyway, because, like, the Imperial Knights...
we don't know.
Well, the Imperial Knight...
It does look
sort
like
of fancy shield thing.
It looks like it, but we don't know.
It does look like that's what they're doing, because, that big lanky knight with the daft shield...
Yeah, it's not
a plastic kit now.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We don't know, but, I mean, I think I can be pretty confident in saying that it's likely what's happening.
But, they did, we phased out horses and carts, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's a net good, though, because, like, for one thing, I don't think GW or Forge World have ever been good at casting resin. They've never been good at it. Like,
I think they were good at the outset when it was new, but now they've fallen behind it.
I mean, Forge World were incredibly lazy as a company. Like, I will give GW shit on a lot of fronts, but I tend not to criticise the miniatures. I've criticised Forge World miniatures constantly because they're just lazy, frequently lazy. Design is lazy, customer service is lazy. The amount of times that the models I bought off them were wrecked by release agent issues. Now, granted, towards the end of Forge World's life, they dealt with that, apparently. According to Paint and Phase. But that's long after I'd stopped buying their products. Like, I'd been finished off too many times.
But mate, have you been taking speed tonight, Dim?
Why? Why?
I haven't shut up.
I don't know.
Poor Dredd. Like, it's not often that I say this, but Dredd can't get a fucking word in edgeways. He's trying to come back at you quite a few times.
Right, go on, Dredd.
Give him
Sorry.
a chance.
Go on, sorry.
No, I can tell you now, specifically.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, Dredd...
No, let Dredd speak. I'm not going to give you a 10-minute diatribe of how I'm going to let other people speak.
I'm going to go back to fiddling with these models. Don't get me on the subject of Forge World. I'll talk for fucking hours. Oh, fucking Forge World, they fucking suck. Go on, Dread.
I wasn't going to do anything. Stop fucking putting a finger on me.
Funny fucker.
Did notice before, if you've got nothing to say, Tread, you might have something to say on this. What do you think of the new the two new Christmas gobble models?
Dread first.
Yeah, I might as well go cameras down. All right, it's going to fucking go. Go on.
Well, Dread,
I have nothing to say.
Crack on. Let him carry on. He's got loads to say, hasn't he?
I have nothing to say. Nothing.
We could just get on with the painting then, just let him go.
Yeah, go on. Wind him up and let him go.
Put
Get some
50
hobby
pence
done.
in. Stand back.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
Let him go.
I did go into the GW store just the other day, obviously, because I just bought the Black Legion, which I'm painting with at the moment, and it's pretty good, actually. And they had a really stupid, quite often I think, I'm going to ask for the standees if it's an Orky thing. But there hasn't been a good one for so long. And it's the red gobbo going down the chimney. And it's like, I don't even want it. I'm not going to ask. So I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've just got a lot of cheesy stuff in. Like, actually, as it goes, where is it? I've got 2 seconds. I went in and I've got a gift guide. Which has got red gobbo on the front.
Oh yeah.
But cheesy, cartoony red gobbo cartoon straight in the first page. Like, it's all right. I mean, it's just, could they not have done the red gobbo? Could they not have just done a different gobbo as their Christmas gobbo? Like, why did they have to shit on the old character? But it's fine that they like to do this Christmassy thing, and like this brochure is pretty good. Like, it's nicely decorated and stuff. It does tell you how many miniatures are in the kits and stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's all right. There's a new book out as well, The Gobbo Rides Again, which would be shit. No doubt. Who's written it? That's by someone James. Someone James. I don't even know how to read that. Mangler Squigs. Still thinking about getting it.
Yeah. Nice.
And then what else? Oh yeah, so in the middle you've got the paint thing where you can tick off paints and stuff that you want and need, but then it's got this pull out spot the red gobbo. But obviously he's by the Christmas tree.
Like,
spoil it.
It's easy.
I was going to get that.
It's easy because he's themed around being poking out of fucking presents around the Christmas tree, isn't he? This year.
It's easy to find the red gobbo. You just follow the scent of corporate bullshit.
Yeah. And it's got a how to paint him bit.
Merry Christmas to you too.
It's not how to paint him, how they show on the box art, that. It's how to paint him to look like he does in that image there, which is all right, but it's not brilliant. So that is the true result of that painting technique. So that's fair. Little painting tutorial there. It shows you what you're going to get. Then what else has it got? A little bit about the specialist games. Kill Team, Blood Bowl, Necromunda, Warcry. For those who have everything, some bigger stuff. Army start sets. Oh yeah, and here's the cheesy stuff. So here's where we get to it. So there is a novelty Gobbo bauble and pin badge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
There's some socks though, Gobbo socks and Squig socks, which I've got to be honest, I'm not against them. I quite a fancy pair of them. And there was a red Gobbo coin in the shop, but you had to spend 60 quid to get the fucking coin. The collector's
And
coin.
it's worth
Not worth
20
it.
pence.
okay.
So,
yeah, there's also some other bits and bobs.
I mean, a couple of my friends are trying to get me one of the red gobbo coins, but I don't care.
The thing is, with all the things you've just shown there, like the baubles and the socks and all that sort of stuff, I'm all up for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely bang up for it. It's a little bit of merchandise. It's, a pair of socks. It's a bauble, whatever. Is what it is. All
Yeah.
for that. The models, not so much. I don't want my models to be carrying gifts.
I wonder how well
I don't want them Christmas themed. Basically, that's what. But what Steve, I think Steve said this a few days ago, is we've now at least got an official profile. Much as we're saying like with Badrock before, you don't have to run him as Badrock, but that's what I'll play him as. With this, you just have yourself a couple of little new Grot heroes, or Grot characters. You can stick in with your Grot sort of mobs who've got special profiles, and just make a little Grot model for them. A little Grot riding squig, like a squig hopper, or whatever they call them these days. A little Grot like hero, it's like the one on the chimney, all that sort of stuff. I think that would be that's quite good. The models are not for me.
It's just if you're gonna make like orcs and grots, then there's other things that we would like. It's just annoying that we keep getting these Christmas things, and then there's other things that we would like. But yeah, I'm not going to bother with it anyway. The gobbo.
Or maybe do a Christmas one, but then do a normal one as well. No, do you know what I mean?
I just don't want a Christmas model.
I would be very interested to find out though how well the sales do on these Christmas themed miniatures, because they're not the only ones that do it. A couple of other companies do it as well, and I can't imagine that they do that well. I mean, we used to do a thing on the WAR forum back in the day where people used to make, Christmas themed orc stuff just because it didn't exist, so it was fun to sort of just make it yourself. And so there used to be a thing about making Christmas orcs, and I don't know whether that's where they picked it up from or what, the tradition of doing it, because that used to be a thing, didn't it, Dim? Do you remember?
Well, I ran an actual competition to make a Santa Christmas themed things. I did like a horror and a movie themed one back in the day, many moons ago, and had some really, really cool entries.
There were some wicked ones that people made, and it was from like the standard boys kit and stuff like that they would, take that and put a beard on him and make him fatter.
They did die out though, because people started really giving out about the fact that they couldn't use them. And that's kind of why I stopped bothering, because it was just like, basically it was like we hit it in the right point. I'm being very crotchety old man tonight, but like the hobby was in charge back when we did those things, and then more and more the games took over, and since the games kind of took over, people are more concerned about, can it be used in game? Is it good? It seems to be more of the conversation than if the nature's good, And I think that's kind of tragic, because we are in an era when GW can make the minis look better than they've ever been able to make it, and it's almost never really discussed, except in... Well, I think, like, we do it. I think a lot of players do it, but it's just like it doesn't seem to factor in for a large chunk of the audience, and I think that's a real missed opportunity.
For me, one of the main reasons why I would end up playing a different game system with my orcs would be because I like to make looted wagons and things like that, and I think if GW are gonna, and I know they are gonna, just carry on down this sort of TM route of vehicles that have got a particular name and a particular loadout, so there is no such thing as a buggy with this or a tank with this or that, like here's your base vehicle and here's stuff to add to it. It's not going to be like that. That's gone in 40k terms, I think, for a long while at least.
I mean, I can understand the census behind it, because you're going to get the people who do like the devil's advocate of like, oh well, there was the chapter house lawsuit, and that made a lot of sense to me until Genestealer Cult could loot Imperial vehicles, and I was like, well, they can do it. Why can't we? I mean, the answer is because they made a specific special Genestealer Cult kit, but at the end of the day, unless they've changed it in the most recent rules and codex, Gene Stealer Cult can just straight up take Imperial units, and that's tacit endorsement for conversion, which is great. It's great for the hobby. It's fantastic. But couldn't they do that for us? You know, if they can do it for Gene Stealer Cult, and they can figure out a way to make it work for Gene Stealer Cult, why can't they make that work for us?
Oh, absolutely, and hopefully one day that they will return to that. But what I'm saying is that I'm not going to make. I mean, I'm already making some like feral looking orcs, but I'm not making them beast snaggers. Although they will play as beast snaggers when I fucking play 40k, I'm deliberately not making them as beast snaggers particularly. They're just my ferals, which have got their own theme that I'm making myself, because I'm not letting GW dictate too much what my orcs are, and in that way I love making vehicles. I'm not going to let their, I'm not going to try and make lots of different variations of like squig buggies and stuff like that, because I'm not interested in what a squig buggy is. I don't care. I'm more interested in making a vehicle and making it cool. So in that way, I'm sort of looking at maybe getting into playing different rule sets, different games, or even getting behind a team that want to build a nougat rule set. Because I want to get excited about building things that are a bit more like it used to be,
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of mixed on it, because I really like the idea of the beast snaggers. I think they fit in all right, because it's just like Cult of Speed. The orcs have the same problem they've always had, which is that like trying to discern a line between, like for instance with like Evil Sons. What's the difference between Evil Sons and Cult of Speed? And it's like, well, it's complicated is the best you can do in a short space of time, because like ostensibly there is no difference, and yet there kind of is, because clans are different to like tribes and ideologies, so there are differences. And the thing you always run the risk of with something like Beast Snaggers is that just what snake bites are now. And yet the idea is that we're supposed to be able to take Beast Snaggers in any tribe, which, I kind of like. Although, at this point, it's probably going to fall into the background, because presumably things are going to go the route that they did last time. And, basically, GW always jumps between two things, and it's like the monoclan, multi-clan, monoclan, multi-clan. And we're itching towards multi-clan again, and clan emphasis is going to get dumped. And then in the next edition they'll go, monoclan, it's back, and it might take a couple of editions, but it'll happen eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a pretty straight one to the other for us for a long time, because first ed was monoclan, second ed was multi-clan, third ed was no clans. It's the odd one out, and then fourth edition was multi-clan. And a lot of people in third, they made monoclan armies, so it was because there was basically no real feel of clans, but at the same time they kind of pushed the clan idea a little bit, although I don't think Andy Chambers ever liked clans, because I always wondered why they weren't there in Gorka Malka, but that's a long conversation we could have. I don't really want to take up that much time, but because I already have. But and then fourth was like very multi-clan, and then I think like seventh, I seem to recall that they were pushing like monoclan armies again. I can't really remember how much it affected the rules, but there must have been formations that were like.
Is this not it? The whole thing about one clan, monoclan, multi-clan, whatever. That's only affecting rules. Yeah. That's only for rules. And for people who say we don't really care about the rules, it's about the hobby. And I'm not going to paint all my orcs fucking one colour because of a rule set in a certain edition at the time. I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Bad Moon Orcs and Goth Orcs and Death Skulls and Evil Sons all together. I'll paint them like that. When the rules I'm playing say you've got to pick to be Goth, Snakebite, or whatever, then fair enough, I'll stick with the rules. But the actual models, me modelling, me picking will be what I want to do.
Yeah, the fluff and the aesthetic tends to follow lockstep. But I mean, like, it's never stopped anybody. Yeah, it's never stopped anybody in any edition. But it's just like, it's where it goes. My point is more like, when you've got the multi-clan thing, you get a bigger mix of releases. Is more where this was going. So like in 7th edition, they were very much kind of leaning into the Bad Moon quite a bit, not hugely, but it was there. And so we got Flash Gits, we got the Gorkanaut and Morkanaut, which is quite Bad Moony, to be honest. And we got the fancy jets, and we got what's the other thing we got? Oh, we got the mech guns, which were very, very snazzy, very fancy. So that was kind of what happened there. Sort of in 4th edition, it was sort of multi-clan, so we've got a wide variety of things. But when they do the monoclan, I think it's because when the monoclan comes out, I think it's because they have an idea of a binary kind of choice. But I really thought it was quite clever when they did Beast Snaggers, because they enabled the Snakebite players to go very monoclan, and at the same time they gave everybody else something that they could use. It's the first time I think they've really bucked the trend since 3rd. So
the only thing I don't like particularly about Beast Snaggers, other than the stupid names and the TM stuff, is the fact that obviously now it's the only thing when you watch any of those other channels, those ones that talk about what's hot at the moment, what's trending, what's doing well, or even not just those channels that talk about lists, but any of those battle report channels as well. It's all fucking Beast Snaggers at the moment. It's all that. It's all you're seeing, and it's like, getting bored of it.
Because they're the new thing, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's always the new shit that sells. It's not because it's Beast Snaggers. It's just because it's the new thing, isn't it?
I do think it's a little depressing that the Beast Snagger cavalry unit is just better at the tank busters job than tank busters are. I think that's a shame. Although it'll change when the Codex comes out, because I would be very, very surprised if we don't get new tank busters.
Yeah.
I think
you're right there. But I mean, the Beast Snaggers, they are better than the tank busters at doing in vehicles, along with virtually every other unit.
I don't know how they could. I don't know how.
Busters are piss weak.
I don't know how they.
Grots are better
tank busters. Or grot tanks. Grot tanks are the new hotness. At every the metal. Grot tanks. They're point for point, so durable. I've been saying this since the start of 10. Fuck your tank busters. You'll get the same. You'll get a unit of 4 grot tanks for the same. That'll give you 5 D3 rockets.
That gives you 5 rockets.
Yeah.
Get 5 rockets. You're hitting with them on 4s. And they're sitting behind your toughness 6, not 5. 4 wounds, or is it 5 wounds? Not 1. 3 up save, not 5 up. And they can run away.
That's the problem I always have with orc units, especially is all of our specialists can be killed by a stray breeze, and yet we still there's only 2 ways they can really take that. Either our specialists need to be dirt cheap because they're going to die, or we need to get some kind of special concessions that makes them durable in the right circumstances. I still think it's kind of weird that we've got tank busters. Part of tank busters is getting stuck in and attacking a tank. I just think it'd be really fucking cool if they had 2 rules. 1 that made explosions more likely, and 2, they've got some kind of fucking nope save against mortal wounds from explosions. So they're more likely to survive when they get close. Still could die, but also more likely to cause explosions. I'd love to see that.
Right. Let's talk about new tank busters then. What I would love to see with new tank busters would be a choice to build the unit 2 different ways. So you can either build them as close-up tank killers. So use your pistols, use your tank hammers, and go after people in a truck, get up close and go in and smash up their vehicle. A bit like Beast Snaggers do, but they're not. They're different. Then, other than that, you've got your ranged version, where you can have all your rockets, and maybe they can come up with some new tank hunting range weapon. That'd be fucking cool.
Yeah.
And maybe with the ones that get up close, they also lay mines, perhaps.
I definitely think we should have this diversion where you've got shooty or choppy. The combat, Because they could even do something like with the squigs. See, like your ranged ones have got the bomb squigs that they can let loose, and then you could have like noshing squigs or something. We probably don't want to call them noshing, but yeah, but like ones with like maybe give them like a power claw like bionic jaw, so they could like bite into a tank and do like a lot of damage. So if you charge, you deal an amount of mortal wounds directly to a tank, and it's more reliable because they have to stick around. But the tank buster unit, because they're combat, they have to get in, they have to get stuck in, and like the whole unit could take tank hammers, and we could get a couple of other cool ideas. Like I'd really like a screw you Benny kind of drill, like in the good. It's annoying that I can remember the name of the novel, but not the film. Total Recall.
Right.
Like just like a. I mean, granted, they kind of already have that because the Gene Stealer Cult has it, but like lots of cool like inventive combat weapons, and then you've got the other side, which is a unit all with rockets, and then give like some interesting options to the knob as well, so he can go pistol power claw, or he can, add a bit of choppy to the unit that it would otherwise not have, or he could really lean in and maybe have like a twin rocket so it fires like twice as many shots or something.
Bring back bomb squigs as well.
Well, the bomb squigs, in my opinion, would stay. You have the bomb squigs, or you can have the Nasher squigs, and you just make it that one works in combat and one you let loose, and it hopefully destroys a tank and does some mortal wounds. And like that would be fucking cool. Like, but I'm slightly worried they might not do that, because they did a lot of that really clever stuff, sort of 6th edition, 5th edition, and 7th edition, where you had like you bought a box and you've got 2 units in it, and it was a really, really cool thing. They did a lot of very inventive things with it, and they seem to have moved away from that for reasons that I don't fully understand. I mean, that said, it does still happen. I'm just because they did that with the big thing I don't like. Well, I do like, but I don't like. Yeah, the kill rig. I don't like the squig, but I like the rig. So they still do it. So it's still possible. But I would really like to see that. They need to do something with tank busters, because they suck at the moment. They suck really, really badly.
They do suck at the moment. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I think they'll get the commandos treatment on the old tank busters. I think you'll get a beautiful kit, but there'll be a 10-man squad then again.
Oh, there'll be a set.
What with specific options?
Fuck the commandos over to a much lesser degree. Whereas you used to be able to have them in squads of 5 up to 15.
Yeah.
Now it's 10.
10 blanket, that's it.
Yeah, you start at 5 and they were cheap because you just went with just 5 slugger choppers, no special weapons, and out like that. Give the boss a power claw because you got it cheap, I think. Then you stick them just to take objectives and that at the start of the game, deep strike them and what have you. But now it's you've got to have the 10, you get all the gear, all the fucking paraphernalia, so you're paying for that ultimately with the overall points cost. They're not disposable units anymore.
I think that's probably my biggest deal breaker with 10th, is just the way that they do squads. Just the fact that you have to...
Do you think that's just partly down to the data cards, though? They've just done it just for ease, just as boom, that's it.
I mean, certainly when they...
as a placeholder until the codexes come out.
But have they changed that with the codexes? Because we've had a few, haven't we?
Every fucking edition they do this. Like, you get something and then they take a handful of stuff back. I still want, since they fucking took it away, I want my looted wagon back. Still fucking want that back. But now, with 10th over 9th and 8th, I want unit sizes back. I want to fucking pick units, and I want to pick weapon options, and I want to pick points. You know, those things are linked together. But points, I want to be able to buy things, swap things out on units. You know, go for different unit sizes, different loadouts, and different points values. Fucking don't want this stupid Age of Sigmar shit. in 40k. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
There's a really unfortunate side effect as well of doing it this way. A very unfortunate side effect that they've not thought about is they have entirely fucked over anybody who has the unfortunate situation of losing a couple of mages or having them stall it. They then have an unusable unit that they cannot use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's pissing money down the drain. In every other edition, it hasn't mattered, because if you lose a couple of mages, you just take, I'll just take 9 instead of 10. But now, you have to. It would
still matter.
No, I mean, granted, like, it would still matter, but it mattered. It didn't make the rest of them unusable, where it does now.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, between ourselves, like, if we turned, like, if any of us fought each other, and I went, I lost a mini from this, I'm just going to run 9. Or I want to run 12 rather than 10. Like, we'd be fine with it, But, like, with the right opponent, it's not going to matter. But it shouldn't have to matter in the first place, At the end of the day, are they doing this for any reason other than to save themselves their own effort? And the answer is they're trying to save themselves the effort. And I understand it to a degree, but it's just like, well, if the weapon options that I stick on them doesn't matter in terms of points, then, well, why should I have to use the amount of mages that you say I need? Why does that matter? Why do I absolutely have to have precisely 10 boys? But, I can, deliberately take the optimal weapon options, which are clearly obvious in almost every case, in order to optimize and not have to pay extra points. Like, it's just a bit weird.
I'm going to do some skin.
What's Steve kicking off about between ourselves?
Come down and do some skin. All right.
It's an exclusive thing. Like, we're talking about it's just between us all, place.
So, my skin recipe has developed and changed a lot, and I'm going to do a video about it. But it's developed and changed a lot. But what it basically is now is I basically just laid down on my already sort of like Xenophord brown, lay down some Plague Bearer contrast, Plague Bearer flesh. But what I had done with these ones, to be honest, is I put down some of my own mix that was exactly like Plague Bearer flesh. Like, where is it? It's away now. But I had a big bottle, one of those big bottles, and I've made up my own colour. And it basically, then they brought out Plague Bearer flesh, and I was like, that's the same fucking colour, and it's one pot, and I ain't got to fucking worry about making this mix of about 7 different colours. So that's what I'm using now. So it's simplified. So go down with that, onto that, let it dry. And then what I'm doing is I'm going between green yellow by model colour and middle stone, and then a very, very fine highlight, a little bit of mixing in with that would be the Army Painter Witch Brew that I picked up when I was with Steve-O. It's just a light green, but I mean, I've got other light greens here that I'm using too, that's sort of less vivid, but they sort of, there's the colours, sort of mix in nicely. So they are model colour golden olive and scale colour Sherwood green, but they're the light ones for just like a bit of highlight and stuff. But that's the main. And then what I'll do is when I've finished with all of that and I've done all the highlights and blah blah blah, I'll just go over it again with another wash of the contrast Plague Bearer flesh with a tiny. Actually, what I do is I do like maybe 10 drops of contrast into a palette of this Plague Bearer flesh, and then 1 drop of Beltan green, because it's still like what Beltan green adds, but I don't want too much of it. It adds a little bit of darkness and depth. But yeah, that's
nice.
what I'm doing. Yeah. Cut a long story short, or the other way around.
Wish I could do that. So does everybody else.
So do we all, mate. So do we all.
I got in before you cunt.
It's too too funny, isn't it? Too funny. Too funny.
Oh, dear.
Let's just turn that around. I'm going to have that way around.
Well, I'm painting a little ammo crop
Oh, nice.
to stick on the back of my war rig, carrying the ammo to the flat gun. Don't know if you see this little git here. He's tiny.
Oh, that's cooking it. Oh, yeah. God, Jesus, that does hurt my neck cooking it that much. The only thing I've found, actually, I will say, is with this Army Painter Witch Brew, it's every time I use it, like unlike Vallejo paints that come out nice and smooth, it always comes out like a load of. I'm going to wipe that up because that's no good. It's just all the. Even though I did shake it, it's all separated and shit. It's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not the best straight out of the bottle, you know. Needs a good mix up on the palette. Yeah, it comes out like gloopy and with. Yeah, it just. Yeah, it's not. It's a nice colour, but it's not a great consistency of paint, to be honest.
Oh, for mixing. Is for the Are you getting separation? Because those pots are kind of murder for it, to be honest.
Well, it's the Army Painter though. It's their paint. It's only that one. I'm still not as sold on Army Painter myself, but I am looking forward to seeing these new ones when they come out.
I mean, long term, like, yeah. I mean, long term, like, I think Army Painter have a slight edge over Vallejo at the moment. Although, granted, I know Vallejo have redone their model colour range as well, so I'm going off the old one. But the separation on some of the paints, excuse me, the separation on some of the paints, especially some of the extra opaque ones. Some of the extra opaque ones just become unusable after like 3 uses tops. Especially one of the warm grey is just shit. Like some of the extra opaques. Still recommend the extra opaque blue and red are amazing. The game colour ones, but like Vallejo are terrible for their separation issues. Like, I'm so fucking tired of it. I need to hopefully save up a bit of money and get myself like a decent vortex mixer, because the one I bought from the hobby centre, this
I don't have such bad issues with my Vallejo.
This paint shaker is just terrible. Well, I mean, to be fair, you use yours, Dread, which would be part of the problem, because mine just kind of sit and don't get used. But my issue there is that, like, well, if I wasn't using them, they'd be sitting in the bloody hobby centre waiting to be bought. Like,
yeah.
So why is it when they get home that they're rubbish? And I mean, I'm guessing it's probably more to do with
I
me.
have a lot of issues myself, more so with. I've had a lot of those effects that are based on enamels. A lot of those enamel effects that I've bought that are a bit like £5 or £6 a tub. Various ones from either Vallejo or AK and stuff, where they fucking dried out, and you open it up, it still looks like liquid, but then you open it up and it's actually gone solid. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, gee, they were expensive. So yeah, that's a bit disheartening when that happens. Yeah, I mean,
because I never really had that issue with separation with the GW paints when I did use them. I mean, I think they've got their problems, and Exhibit A, the pot, which is, to my mind, the only reason that it exists is to make sure that you replace your paints quicker than you should need to. I can't think of any other reason why they have them, or why they continue to have it that way, even without iteration or change. But I've never had an issue with GW paints like separating really badly. I've had a couple of issues with GW paints, but very, very rarely. And I think the only major issue I ever had is that I've never seen the point behind White Scar. It's the cost versus the terrible pots, which forced me into Vallejo. And although, well, I also couldn't really get away with the contrived format that they've got of like, these ones are thick because these are the base paints, these aren't. You know, and I could never get away with that. I think my ability to paint kind of deteriorated when that happened. Whereas, generally speaking, the consistency of Vallejo paints, whether they're model colour, game colour, extra opaque or not, has been pretty consistent on the whole. Certainly more so than GW, which is
Not just thin it.
well, I could have thinned
So,
it.
if you're painting out the pots, you're going to get some which are unusable.
Well, my old solution that I used to use when I used the GW ones is just I chucked them on a wet palette, which would thin it.
Yeah.
Was the only way to do it. But then I just thought, well, if I'm thinning it anyway, I might as well just use a paint where I don't need to do the extra steps.
Oh, if you don't get it wrong, yeah, I fucking love painting out of pots, mate. Which is why I'm going to say something which might be a little bit controversial here.
Oh shit!
Dropper bottles, don't fucking rate them.
I can definitely see why you wouldn't. I prefer them to GW pots. They're not.
I don't know.
They come with their own issues.
If there's anything in it, it's not much. Either way, but it's certainly not less wasteful, because who the fuck carbonates them? I don't know. But the amount of times I've shook them up, took the top off, and without even squeezing it or upending it, it's fucking spunking up everywhere, dribbling down the side and that. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've got to literally get a hold of the nozzle with some pliers or something and pop it off just to break the airlock, just so it stops spewing paint out. They're always gunked up, like in the lids and that. I mean, that one I've just pulled a skin off it, although that is gun metal, that's quite a thick one. They're not ideal, and whenever I squirt out a little bit to use, I always squirt out more than I need. It's like the green stuff thing, you know, you always put like more than you, because I might only need a tiny little brush, like a brush full.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hear you, but I would say with the dropper bottle paints, that you know, if you can clean out the lids much easier because you can remove them. So, you know, if you look after your paint pots, they'll look after your paint. So I don't have half as many issues, not even a third as many issues with my dropper bottle paints as I do with my GW paints. The other thing is that you get a third more paint and you pay a third less in price.
Yeah.
So GW paints cost a third more than most dropper bottle paints do, but you get a third less in them.
Yeah, I think price was the main decider for me.
It's not true. The GW paints are the same price as Army paint and Vallejo ones. You do get less. Yes, it is 12 mils a standard pot. There's one. 12. No, it's 12 up. Yeah, 12 mil. Whereas a dropper, I think, is at 18, 17. So yeah, it's about a third more than a dropper bottle. But price wise, £2.75.
Yeah.
£2.73 maybe. But for a third more. So yeah, I mean, you get GW will have your eyes on your technical paints. This is like Gog Sand on it, £6. But your standard sort of layer paints and that, base paints, whatever the fucking names they give them, £2.75 for a 12 mil pot. At least last time I bought one, I haven't bought one for a while. I'm trying to use them. But I mean, I can clean a GW pot lid easier than I can a dropper bottle lid, and I've never poked the end through one of those and ruined the lid altogether, which I have with those before, trying to get something into the pointy bit, the cleaner from the inside. That top bit's just completely came off without, like, you know, Hulk jabs. Just
You bastard! Look what I just did. I've just put my whole fucking hand.
I've never spilled.
What happened in the pot, mate? I mean,
I've
you would have
never
knocked it over and it would have spilled everywhere.
Yeah,
that's a different issue.
I was going to say that's probably the biggest issue I had with GW paints, the amount of times that I lost a whole paint.
With the thin ones, yeah. I knocked the thin ones over. I mean, don't get us wrong. I'm not saying that these pots are superb and everyone should have them and these are far better. They're not. They're fucking terrible. And the ones I've had, I mean, that's Temple Guard Blue, right? I don't think I've used that more than 5 times. And yet, if I open it, it's virtually gone. I would happily turn that upside down. But, yeah, a little bit poured out. But I don't know what happened to it. It's just disappeared. Now, with a dropper bottle, I don't know what's in it, so that's better.
I mean, dropper bottles.
I just don't think they've designed the perfect paint delivery canister yet.
No.
There isn't a perfect. They've all got
isn't.
issues. They've all got issues. They always do.
But can we please stop trying to cure all these diseases and just focus on what's important?
Yeah.
Little tiny paint pots.
Yeah, you would have thought that'd be something that, the people that, whoever it is that was designing the stuff that Green Stuff World got the rights for would be working on.
I mean, I don't miss them. I don't miss the pots at all. Like, I'm not saying that dropper bottles are superior, but I do not miss these. I don't miss them at all. Like, I've just not looked back, and I do have issues with Vallejo quite often and curse them quite often, but I don't miss the pots. I don't miss the GW pots. They've never been good. The GW've never had good pots. Like, they've always been stupid issues with them. And
but it is quite nice in the way that some people enjoy picking at a scab or something. That just getting the pot, opening the lid,
and pulling the dry paint off,
and twisting it inside out like that, and then just going, oh, look at all the paint, and just picking it out of it. And that one's actually quite clean because I do a lot of pot pickers. And
I mean, you get that a little bit with dropper bottles, but it's never as satisfying.
No, I remember when I was a kid, I used to have a little ceramic tile, and a few of them I'd done mixing and that on. And I had one that just had a pile of all a heap that was about 3-4 inches tall, just a heap of all the little bits of acrylic paint, dried paint I'd pulled off the edge of the pots. I mean, looking back then, it was probably 40 quid's worth. It was quite sad, but yeah. Fun and games. But anyway, I need to ask your opinion on something. I don't know how I'm going to progress. There's me little banner dude. Right, so his feet are chained to the pole, and he's got a noose round his throat, just coming out of that skull head on top of the banner. Now on the back here, I want to do
very nice
a glyph plate for a squig. Now I don't know if it's like that kind of little squig or that little squig. The line, I didn't put a line on the other one. My fucking pencil. The pole would be there. So I'll have one like that, or with these teeth onto it. That's just another similar one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would be inclined to go for the more sort of angular,
smashy, heady one.
Yeah, just because that's more like how glyphs look.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much the thing itself. It's just, should it be teeth onto the pole or forehead onto the pole?
Oh, right, I see what you mean.
I mean, like I say, it will be more that sort of. That's obviously far too big. They're probably more actual size.
I think forehead on.
It looks cooler.
Yeah, I do like it more. I'll have to do it sort of angular and stuff. Yeah, you're right. Stick with that one. Well,
also, actually, if a squig was going to sort of meet like anything front on where its mouth is, that mouth is going to be open. Because squigs are good like that. It's kind of what they're built for, really. Whereas you do have that particular squig that does do that headbutt thing, and that's why it's got like a metal plate on it, and that probably makes more sense.
I do like the leg on that one better, sort of like going back, like just off to the, as opposed to
sense as well, the head against the metal, because it's like it's crashing into it. So
as opposed to just put on. So I might do that like that one.
You've got a few people in the comments saying full head first. So
was that also you haven't?
Looks like that. It's broadly the consensus.
Forehead first, yeah. Thank you, Tommy Mac. And is it Tyranny? I'll probably get that wrong. 1987. I know numbers. Right.
Oh, I've kind of hit a wall of inspiration.
Hmm.
Mind you, I've done 6 of them. Badly. I have a lot of cleanup to do when the green stuff's cured. A lot of cleanup. Because I'm not entirely happy with them.
Oh shit, my power's low. Damn it. Okay. I can plug in my backup. Oh, where's the plug?
It's a race against time.
2 minutes. I might have to actually leave it. Oh, I have got to leave it.
I mean, we are coming up close to 2 hours, so
Yeah, I suppose.
we'll probably knock it on the head in 15 minutes anyway, I would suspect.
Oh, I charged up my battery bank thing, so hopefully. I mean, I did with Steve over the other night. We was having a little chit chat, and it stayed alive quite a while longer just by having that plugged in, so I should be all right. Yeah. Although I did have that warning on there the other day about the battery dying in old and crap. The warning your battery is just crap.
Well, your battery's shite.
Have you considered a new phone? Cameras down.
I'm using 2 thin plastic cards for this. No. So are you getting on, Clint?
Quietly. As per usual.
How's that Val going?
Oh, he's muted. Essex, he muted bit.
He's muted. Does he know he's muted?
Well, with me and Dreadnought stuff like this, I had a chance to get.
No, he didn't know he was muted.
Yeah, there we are.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Chatting away for the last half an hour.
Let's start the show again, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
How are you getting on, mate? Apart from obviously technical issues with mute.
Yeah, all good. Got me grot done. This little bugger done.
Remember you were
Little ammo grot.
That was the last time I heard you was when you were talking about painting it.
Yeah. I'm just starting on the rest of my band. Getting some of the base coats down on the skin.
So is this for the feck off huge truck?
The little ammo guy is.
Yeah.
He's going on the back for the ammo for the flat gun.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, the band's for the stadium, isn't it? I keep forgetting.
The band's for the stadium. Yeah, I'm doing a new stage for the stadium, and I've been working on my own Squeak Boss guy as well.
Ooh.
So I've got just the base so far.
He's a big laying dragon.
Yes.
Is that the one you used before?
No, this is the Seraphon one.
Oh, it is a lizard man thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the tongue thing? It's got like a really long tongue thing.
The tongue thing.
The tongue thing. The saddle is off the the stone horn.
Yeah, the Stonehorn's snazzy. I've wanted to make like a grot thing from that for ages, but I never got any inspiration.
And then I've got the other boss.
Oh, snazzy, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Just getting some legs on him. He'd look nice on the Stonehorn, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He'd look pretty good on that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
You've probably got a bit of room. Oh, hang on, its back really slopes off really quick, doesn't it? Because it's like, if you got a platform...
It does look
grots
huge
and
from the
shit,
front, but then from the back it's got a tiny arse.
Yeah, it really does slope off really quick. I've got one knocking around somewhere.
Mm.
There we are. You can see it just drops. Just drops
You know what?
immediately. Because what I was planning to do is, I think this is probably for the Snow Goblin army that I'm going to be selling off. But where the furry trolls are full. I think I was planning to stick a crossbow on the top of it. I think that was the plan. Because it's kind of like an AOS destruction army.
Uh-huh.
It was the plan. I've got like the old... Oh, it is actually there. Got like the old fantasy crossbow bolt thrower thing.
See, the problem is, Dim, I took half the saddle off of my my Stonehorn and then used it as an axe for my D&D character.
Snazzy.
There's my D&D orc barbarian, and that's his axe. He's got there. But that's the Stonehorn, the back of the saddle for it. So I've just turned it into an axe. Stuck it with a club, and yeah. And that's the crossbow hand, which I just sort of snipped there off the ogre. Yeah, he came out quite good.
That sounds like a little Tommy squeaker.
Tommy Squeaker.
Tommy squeaker? Right, I've just seen, you know what it is. Sai made a comment before, sci-fi, in the chat, which, yes, I thought about, which was instead of having a glyph plate, basically the glyph plate was going to be, as he looks away from his mic, a little bit like that one, right? Insofar as it was going to be just metal and built up in textures.
Uh-huh.
Right, that's how I was going to do it. But it's a very easy place to put it on that because it's just a big flat surface and you can just stick it on top of it. On the boss pool, not so much. Not hanging on the back of it. So Sai said, why don't you just put a banner on and then you can paint what you want on? And that is basically all. I've been thinking about that first and decided, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a little plate. But I might just do it. Because it's fucking easier. And it will be able to...
Nice. I love that thing.
Put a bit of freehand on it. So
wow.
That would be the flag. That fits in there. Oop. I just need to put that there. So first of all, where's my Dick Emery board?
Oh, that's a lot bigger.
There we go. Cutting that off. And now I need to flutter it up like a flag. Probably many ways to do this. Candles.
Sorry, I'm being very quiet because I was concentrating painting.
Not on mute, no.
No.
That's just me.
Balls deep in the paint. I'm probably smearing it with my elbow again.
He means his cock.
Ah!
You had to get one in. He means his cock.
Of course, I'm just heating that up with a candle.
As you do.
As you do.
It means his cock!
Yay! And then if I tease the tip with the paintbrush. Anyone? Right, get right down to the bristles.
Then just pull it back and forward and back.
I can't help it. I'm gonna have to.
White.
He means his cock.
What kind of scented candle have you got, size asking?
This is a air pure vapor candle.
Oh, nice.
And there you go.
Isn't capitalism
One
wonderful?
fluttery flag.
Ah.
It's beautiful.
That's good.
Now realise, of course, I've used the wrong plastic card. I've used 1 mil instead of 0.5 mil, but that's all right. It looked canny.
It was a practice one, wasn't
Nah, fuck it.
it? It's done.
It's done. I'll have a little smell of the candle. Burning nostrils. I was like, fuck out. I do have my very own candle, my own tarty candle that the wife got us for me.
What? What? A drunken orc candle?
In fact, it's just, it hasn't been lit for a couple of years, mind. I'll get
No.
the stop it.
The
I
merch
thought you meant you
opportunities
had
we're missing.
your own candle as in merch.
Oh, no. It smells like real piss.
Oh,
Look.
it smells
Smells
like the back room in an Oxfam shop. Lovely.
Apparently. And this one is smoked bourbon. Like the biscuits. Yes.
Shame, really, because if it'd been the drink, it'd been on brand. Fucking more.
It's definitely the drink.
Actually, that's a bad idea.
I did get it because it smells lovely. Smell that.
Oh, yeah, it smells great, Sid.
Oh, I see.
Is it that, or have you just farted?
It's a bit
Sniffing the air around that.
I'm grateful we can't smell whatever's going on at Sid's. To be fair.
You ungrateful bastards.
Self-preservation isn't ungrateful.
Still scarred.
Right, now where's that fucking... Right, so how big's that pole? Yeah, now this wooden pole, what I've used for the banner, fits nicely
It's his
with
cock.
the plastic tube. And no, it's not Matt Bennett. I always find it tricky to cut plastic tube to any kind of fucking, with a straight end to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got to put a bit of wire inside it, yeah.
Fuck.
I'll just roll it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that shit.
Exactly. Who's got time for that? When you're in the flow.
This stuff doesn't collapse either, mind. It's
Solid stuff, yeah.
Fuck, I wasn't watching. Oh no, I didn't cut it off. Yeah, this stuff doesn't collapse. It's kind of thick. So
I bought a load of lollipop sticks off of Amazon.
yeah, that's what these are.
Yeah, they're quite good. You got the little ridges at the top,
No.
little cutout bits at the top.
What, the ones like whistles?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no,
Mine got the little cutouts on the top.
I think these are ones for like making your own cakey pop type.
Ah, the cake pop ones, right? Yeah,
Yeah, because they're a bit longer.
yeah. I'm painting Space Marines now.
Jesus.
Get off this guy.
Right, so we've got a couple of little bits of plastic tube.
Look at my camera, look. Ultramarines, nonetheless.
Oh, yeah, no, you did.
Look at that. Looks beautiful. Best kind of Space Marine, that.
Third one, is it?
It's just a banner, a glyph thing.
So much paint. Oh, I don't hate when that happens.
Right, there we go. Cut a little bit out of there. A little bit of super glue. Tell you what, the super glue, I'm going to squeeze this harder and harder to get in the out. Anyone?
It means he's super glue.
Yeah, yes, I did. That was quite clear.
Smooth. So is that a war banner thing, Sid?
What?
Or is it just a banner?
It's just a banner.
Is that for one of your...
It's to go on the back of the brutal lad, hence he's more brutal, so he's got a gadget.
Yeah.
Sort of. Oh, dripping down the length.
I've got some of the old resin manglers handy. Which I'm planning to do something with. They're not as cool as the new plastic ones, though. They're nowhere near as nice.
It's just easier to work with plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like working with resin, but I can. But I mean, I think it's just like... I mean, granted, we've all worked with older models, and it's just like I think we just got sold on the idea of resin because we had before that we had metal, and metal was just such a twat to work with that we were just glad it was resin. Like,
yeah, you're probably right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, at the moment, like, I mean, it's actually not that bad, but the rockets I'm using are the third ed Stormboy rockets, so they're metal.
Oh yeah.
But they fit quite nice onto the goblins, and I've got like a plastic one here for comparison, and there is quite a size difference. So these are perfect for grots, and this is the orc one. And yeah, I've kind of reached the limit of what I can really do, unfortunately. Or at least the amount that I can be bothered to do, to be closer to the truth. And we were talking about wastage earlier. Like, I'm mint at wasting green stuff. Granted, I'm not too fussed because this stuff is... I'm still using this stuff, and I should have got some fresh, to be honest, because this one hasn't kept well. The fresher it is, the easier it is to work with, and it's just kind of like the only reason I'm even working with it is because I've fecked around with green stuff so much that I can make the old stubborn stuff behave a little bit better than if I was a noob. But
yeah, where's the... Sorry, I just saw Keith put someone on there, cake pop sticks.
Yeah.
That's the ones I got. So as you can see, there's absolutely shed loads in there. They were decent. They were decent then.
Them.
Zoom out a bit because it's easier to see when it's on a mat.
Yeah,
So they are, yeah, 15 centimeters long.
Oh, they are quite big then.
Never in the world. That's never 6 inches. Anyone? maybe it's just the thinness that's thrown us.
Oh, will you behave?
But yeah, and I tell you what, they're really good for. Really good for when you've glued something like, for example, this bit of chain on. Right, there's a bit of. Let's give it a focus. Right, if I can get it down to the right place, there we go.
As I was saying,
Chain
you
across the back there. I put some thin super glue on, and then just hang on. Use it to blow down because obviously the hollow as well.
It means it's got.
And just blow the super glue into all the nooks and crannies. And then when it sets, you've got like a much stronger bond everywhere because it's covered all of it. And also, you've blown it away from the surface where it could be sort of like clumping up. So yeah, they're really useful for that. I've always got a couple of them blue tacked up next to me paintbrushes.
What a tip.
Mm.
Literally just sat and hid the green stuff into a cotton balls.
Blue one, yep. So there, I've glued a couple of those little bits of plastic tubing around the pole with a little section cut out. Want me to see the section? Need to trim that one straight a bit. But then the flag will just clip into there. Obviously, I'll glue the fucker, but...
What are you making, Dim?
Grot Stone Boys.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if we were still on for a bit, I probably would have made a start on these vehicles that I'm going to be sticking diggers in, because I'm thinking about Gorkamorka at some point. I've already got Rebel Grots, so I was like, I need another mob, you know. I'm almost never going to use the buggers, but like, and just like,
I like diggers because they're just a fun concept. It's just a really cool idea that there'd be some humans that might actually just go, do you know what? These are
those guys are cool. Let's join in. Yeah,
it's nice to look at something and go, yeah, I'd do
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go. Oh yeah. Do you know what? There is a path.
The thing that's always put me off it is there's basically two routes that you tend to see sort of modern well, three routes that you tend to see in modern circles. It's either excuse me, people have chased like a wide variety of bald guy sculpts from a load of old metal spin mill companies, which is probably what I would have done back in the day, but it's been done to death now, and there's no way I would do that now. There's people who have used like somewhat controversially, like plastic tribal miniatures to make diggers. You know, and that hasn't worked too well sometimes. And then there's the ones who use, probably worst of all, is the people who use the modern Games Workshop Necromunda plastic Goliaths.
Right, I know he's going to say that.
The two muscular. The two muscular. I think the Goliath. The problem is the Goliaths are fucking orky. They are really orky, and you could make a great digger knob from them, like quite easily. There's one of the characters that looks like straight up like based on the old digger knob artwork from the digger knob book. Like it's just so on the nose that they must be thinking about it, surely. But they're just too muscular for me. Like the Gorkamorka is a dead world. Like those humans are barely surviving. They are not eating well enough to get that stacked.
Yeah, but the lore in it is because they're on drugs, aren't they? That the Escher are supplying.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's sending them loopy, not making them
Is it? Sorry, is this
stacked.
Goliaths are too muscular for hive cities or for diggers?
For diggers.
Right,
They're
good.
fine for Necromunda. They're perfect. They look really. They
So,
fit into the aesthetic.
are the diggers being supplied by drugs, or is that the Goliaths?
I think it's the Goliaths, isn't it?
Right, I knew the Goliaths were all ripped
Oh,
off the tits.
I thought he was meaning that they didn't work in Necromunda.
Right, I wasn't sure.
No, they work. They work fine in Necromunda.
No.
Like the diggers are eating like alt mushrooms and going mental, but they're not really bulking up. And I think, well, I suppose it could work, but I just never really liked the idea of it. I really liked the old wiry look that they had in the artwork in the old mages. The problem
You're
is,
too caught up.
there was never.
Tim, you're too caught up though in what the law says about
Yeah,
what.
but because it's
No.
law.
Listen, you make my point about what the law says as what a digger is in Gorkamorka. I mean, just the concept, the idea of, because I'm making my own diggers. I don't care what anyone thinks, because they're not for Gorkamorka. They're not for the law of Gorkamorka. They're for my 40k army, and they're taking that concept, the idea that you could have humans that are interested in the orc way enough that they would, or for one reason or another, either that they're pressured into it to fit in on a world where they've got no choice, or they're doing it out of choice or respect. You know, it's just an interesting concept that has many reasons why it could exist.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not shitting on the idea entirely. It's just like, but being a bit of a Gormor purist, like I would want.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm saying you're
but
being
I
a
wanted
Gorkamorka.
something that fitted with the old aesthetic, and I was hoping for a plastic kit that GW did, because I love playing with GW kits, even when they're quite pricey. But I really like playing around with their kits, and I was like, it's a shame, because like, I mean, the Goliaths were always going to be too muscular for like Angelus diggers. They're great for diggers as a concept, although, I mean, I've got to make peace with it now. People are going to say diggers when they mean or humans with orcs. They're almost always going to use the term, even though it had a very specific usage. I'm not going to go into that because that's just me being anal. But the Attilan, I think they call it Atalan or something, but the World Eater jackals, Jakhal.
Oh, yeah, the Atalan
They
jackals,
are fucking perfect for diggers. All they need is to get rid of those stupid mask faces and have like angry bald men. And I mean, I'm a Genestealer cult player. I've got angry bald men heads from when I was making Genestealer cult from scratch using all sorts of kits.
You've got angry bald men coming up your arms.
I really do.
So many of them.
Out is better than in, though, eh?
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
What?
You being inappropriate.
Probably.
Yeah.
What would Dim? How would the orcs treat the? Because I don't know much of this lore. How do the orcs get on with the like? How do they in the lore? How do they?
Oh, how would the
humans
diggers?
interact?
Why are the diggers still around? Is a
Yeah.
very
I'd
good
like to
question.
field this one. I don't know.
It's because the orcs are scared of the pyramids. They don't know what's going on there, but there's something weird, and the orcs have gone into the pyramids and never come out. Whereas the diggers can come and go as they please, and they're safe. So the orcs are like, right, so we can't mess with these stupid Yumis because they're protected by whatever scary things in that pyramid.
Right.
But when they're not anywhere near the pyramids, the orcs are perfectly happy to butcher them. But they've got an element of protection, which means they're still around, and they're wanting to fit in, and the orcs tolerate them. But they regard them as the same way they regard Gretchen. They've got very little
Is it the
dim
same
opinion
as
of
Grots, or are Grots higher on the
Grots are probably lower,
pecking
ironically.
order? Or is there no real pecking order because it's not like the part of a society at all? It's just...
Yeah, it's odd because, like, generally speaking, orcs are quite sort of very, very xenophobic. Like, if you're not green, you don't fit. But they do appreciate fighting spirit, and if you can put up a bit of a fight. And the diggers have managed to embrace that kind of lifestyle, even if they don't do it as well as the orcs do find it kind of fun that they're joining in on the scrapping and trying to get the scrap and trying to join in. So they tolerate it to some degree, and the diggers are largely viewed with suspicion. But because orcs have some kind of superstitious elements to their character, there's some kind of ungodly protection that the diggers have that the orcs generally don't like to mess with them. Except when they're in the middle of the desert where no one's looking. And they're just like, right, well, we'll deal with these guys pretty handily and nick their scrap. But it's odd. But the diggers have made it, they're aware to a very reasonable degree that they will never truly fit. And they're desperate for that approval because they love the orcs. They think they're so fucking cool.
So is that way that they worship, the diggers worship the orcs? Do they?
They really venerate them. I suppose. Well, it helps that they spent their entire time after the crash, all the generations of diggers that were underground. They were in the ones that survived were basically inside the pyramid, and those generations kind of bred. And there's obviously some kind of Necron shenanigans going on that they were allowed to exist, and they thrived enough to survive. And there's some internal politicking. So there's a lot of secret there, a lot of intrigue there we don't really know about. They're not really explained at all. But the diggers themselves, when they first actually managed to get out of the pyramids and they saw the bright lights and they saw the orcs, and they were just, they went. I think the first few of them went blind, obviously, but eventually once they adjusted to the light, they just saw the orcs just bombing around in these trucks, and they're like, that's how I want to live my life. And that's basically what the diggers are like. So they try to be as orky as possible. They'll get orc.
Anybody who enjoys the lore there of Gorkamorka, that is just an indicator of what can happen on just one world where the orcs are thriving.
Yeah.
You know? That's the beauty of it. That's how it worked on that planet.
Orcs are always case by case. Yeah.
Just imagine all the other possibilities.
Yeah.
You know?
Because that is what's great about the orcs.
Limits your imagination, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's
Every orc society is unique. And it's got its own quirks and its own foibles that are entirely based on the environment around it. Like in Digging Up, there isn't a warboss or a warlord in charge, the mechs are. Because obviously the mechs are the only ones that are going to get them out of this situation. Because the Space Hulk crashed and they don't know what to do, so they're waiting for the mechs to have the bright idea that is going to get them back into having a war, and it's whether they're going to build a new rocket, build a new ship, build a massive teleporter. I think in the end they settled on a teleporter. I'm a bit rough on that.
Yeah, it's very easy to see how orcs would have a mech or a big mech as a warboss or as their leader quite often. For that very reason, that you get trapped somewhere, you need a mech to sort it out, don't you?
Yeah.
And even they come along evolution wise a bit later on anyway, so until they come along things are a certain way, and when they do come along things change, so they would be sort of venerated in a sense, a bit like weird boys are sort of not venerated in the sense of they're more sort of like fucking stay out of their way.
It also kind of,
if you wanted to do a unit of diggers, right, for use in something like 40k, do you think is it too much to use them as orcs?
Well,
I'm talking sort of standard sort of boy type units, not.
I think not, because you're playing 40k, and so you're playing as orcs, so you don't want to go when you're playing against people having sort of mixed lists, because it's not fair. People see that as more of an unfair thing these days than if you was just to say, look, I'm just for modelling purposes, I've made these humans that are like orcs, and they're just going to play as orcs. It makes way more sense, I think.
Yeah.
It's just I've done this for modelling purposes, so it looks cool.
Because Angelus provides a very nice sort of outlook to look at what it takes for Grots to go rogue. because, like, in Gorkamoko, obviously they've got this plan to get off to escape the planet, and the way that they come up with who's going to be saved, and so the idea is that, and how are we going to get all the scraps? So how the orcs are basically encouraged to go out and grab the scrap, because orcs generally wouldn't bother, is you go out there and you fight for the scrap, and you get enough of that scrap and you earn a tag, and if you've got a tag, that means you can escape, you can go, and you're going to join the war, and you're going to get to join the party, basically. And what happens with Gretchen is Gretchen can never get tags. So, like, the thing,
right?
Yeah, well, it demonstrates that's what makes a lot of the Grot snap, because it's like Gretchen accept all of the mistreatment, the likelihood of death, everything. They accept it all willingly because they know they're at least going to be allowed to tag along, albeit grudgingly, right? The second that orcs go, right, you have no value whatsoever, we're going to leave you behind, that upsets them. It just shows you how much they put up with, but there's always expectation of a little bit of a reward. So that's what it takes for Grots to really rebel, is the idea that there is no reward. There's no upshot to being treated like this, and that's when they notice the chains, basically. And the rest of the time they don't care, because they're like, well, eventually my master will give me a gun, I'll join a Grot mob, and I'll go off and I'll fight like my master does. And it's kind of what motivates them.
So, modelling wise, this evening, I want to show you while I've got the camera down. I've actually, with all 5 of these Storm Boys, I've actually got a layer of skin on top of the layer I had down, and I've also got a layer of black down on all of their clothing. So, actually achieved something. Yeah.
Nice.
Progress. Slowly.
Good.
I've got 8 Grots with rockets stuck to their backs via green stuff, and then I'll wait for it to cure and I'll clean it up afterwards, and then glue it on permanently.
I'm going to turn my heater on because it's freaking cold already again.
I've put my rad on.
I've got this little gas heater. I've got a new bottle on it ready to go.
Winter is definitely starting to kick in, that's for sure.
It is.
Oh yeah, I've got frost on the windows and stuff, very cold here. The floor is cold as well.
Well, I've got this bad boy painted up.
Oh shit, the bird.
My little glyph.
That's good, mate.
With no beaky sign. Stick on the side of my rig. Yeah.
Where the heck is that?
What's that?
Right. I've burnt myself a smoke. Yeah, I'm enjoying though. Although, I don't like the way that temp is with the units and like I said, the points and not being able to add things on that. I am really enjoying the something that I haven't been able to enjoy for a very long time since I started my channel, because this is my 3rd stint in the hobby, so it's been a long time since I've had painted units where I can start going, I can do like this list or that list. And so the only thing that's holding me back from actually playing lots of different lists at the moment is, and I was saying to Steve-O the other night, is just infantry. So if the more infantry units I get done now and quick, then it opens up a lot more to me, because I've got quite a few vehicles painted, just not very usable. Way the old crotch cam, way. But yeah, I've got quite a few vehicles fairly done, And a lot of the other things that I've got sitting there waiting to finish building and painting is other vehicles, but there's no point in me fucking just going straight into more vehicles all the time. I've got no infantry ready, so yeah, this time around I've got options. And so what I'm saying is I've enjoyed making some lists actually just lately on Battle Scribe. I've been having quite a bit of fun just in my spare time, just sitting there, like if I'm
nice.
on a lunch break or something, just sit there and make another army list. And you see, like I did one which was an all tracked list for our meetup actually, because we're going to go all different themes when we meet up. I'm going to go an army of everything is tracked. So it'd be tanks. But I thought, well, when I then make that up to a 1,500 point list or a 2,000 point list for games against my other friends and things like that, like I can use the same list but just change it up a bit.
Well, hang on a minute. Other friends?
Yeah.
What's this?
Ooh.
I should have said friend. Sorry, I shouldn't have pluralised it. Sorry,
It could have been worse. It could have been actual friends or something like that.
I was exaggerating. Sorry. But yeah, what I figure is you thrown me off now.
Sorry, mate. So when you're doing it for when you play us, and you also doing something different.
Oh yeah. So I want to just go like, okay, well, if I do want to go, okay, with that 1,000 point tracked list, it was really, duck shoot. When I come up against this list or that, I mean, if I come up against you, for example, Sid, and you go snaggery, for example, then you're just going to have fun just killing tanks because that's what they're designed.
I don't think it'll be as easy as that, mate. With snaggers, to be fair, I think.
Well, without any
whatever it is, I think everything's going to be
Without any protection, it will be. But if I made it up to 1,500 points, then I could think about, how would I deal with the situation of not having much. There's not much chop in my list, so I'm like, okay, well, I need to add more chop to it. So I did one where I went, okay, this is your track list plus chop, and this is your track list plus cans and dread, and so like I tried it a couple of different ways, and I was like, okay, well that'll give a solution to this. That'll give. I'm starting to enjoy that more now because I've got the freedom to, because I have got more units that are ready to go and stuff. Which is, I'm just saying, it's a nice part of the hobby with
you. I'm looking forward to when you can get down here, Dread, and have a couple of games with me.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I've just got to get this new clutch fitted onto this camper van. I can drive up and accommodate myself quite easily.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'll get. I think I might go down and meet Steve-O soon. Have a game with him.
Like bed and breakfast. But I'll bring my own bed. You can supply the breakfast.
I'll supply the breakfast. Yeah. No drama. We'll get that sorted.
Well, jealous now.
I mean, I'm one of those people I can eat all day long, to be honest with you. I don't know how much 40k will get done. To be honest. Visiting the chef, I'm going to just want to eat.
We'll get plenty of time for some decent food as well.
All right, I'll just show you what I've got done, and I think we'll be winding up soon.
Yeah.
That's all right. I've dropped it. It's smashed to pieces.
So you got nothing done?
No. Ooh. Go gadget grip fingers. Right, so it's the dude. Oh, so you got to zoom in a little bit because I can't lift my hand that high.
Ooh.
The dude.
Yeah, it's good. Where's the skull from, Sid?
I think that's off. Is that not off a Mega Knob kit?
Is it?
I don't
know.
I don't think so.
No, I don't recognise that from the Mega Knobs.
I don't know where it's from then.
Oh, hang on. Is that not the one from the?
He loves one of these puzzles.
It's the shaman from AOS, isn't it? The Oddboy shaman.
What the?
Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
Oh no, it might like a
Might be
big
the new
skull plume thing that looks really cool.
Yeah, it could be. I've got the skull on the top with a little rivet on the back.
It would make sense because you recently got it with the boys that you got with me. The
Yeah, I did actually get one of those AOS war chanters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think it's one of them things.
And I like the fact he's got his butcher's tools up there, hooked over the horn of the banner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he uses when he's brutalising his prisoners. And he just hangs them up next to them for ease of access. Need fear of them getting a hold of it. And, you know. And then that goes on the back of there.
But if anyone climbs up there to like cut him down, and like, you know, one of his mates or whatever, and they claim to not have a knife, then, you know, they're well catered.
Oh yeah, they're well sorted, yeah. So that goes I mean, obviously
It's fucking hench, mate. Love it.
It's really nice.
I like the fact that he is like, you know, tough enough that he can just hold that fucking chain in his teeth. He won't rip his teeth out.
The only thing is, look at his teeth. It's one of the flash gates head, and the teeth are quite small.
Oh yeah.
I would like a couple of big tusks on him.
What did you make?
If it's too fiddly to try and do a little bit of dentistry on him and all.
What did you make his hair squig out of?
That was actually just a Mohican taken off a cromlech.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd use like a different
toothbrush,
milliput or something.
No, I just used. I thought I'd used a few of the heads and the quite sort of. I'm gonna chuck on a bone here and say characterful.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to use it, but
yeah, I've got quite a few that I've decided I'm probably not going to use. That I bought with, you know, every intention to, but now I've started sort of putting them against other things. And like, I've painted a few now, and I've gone, yeah, it don't really fit in.
Oh, I loved them, me, when I got them.
Oh,
I used them in boys mobs and beast snaggers mobs, and I used them in a few things, and then I just sort of started going off them a bit.
Yeah, some and some.
But like the more recent
arm
Cromlech
there,
heads are not too bad, but yeah.
his arm there, it's like four different kits. Just his left arm. It's the ogre arm. That's a hand off one of the knobs who's holding the chopper, sort of a weird.
Yeah.
You talk about Cromlech,
And then that's obviously taken off an Auric.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, the axe goes to here, the chopper, and then it's just a pin.
one of those newer Cromlech kits is one of the ones I also got, but I'm handy to show you, is the their version of the ferals, the snaggers or whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
You get 10, and there's 5 different bodies that you get twice, and 5 different choppers and sluggers and stuff. Not twice, but all the heads are different. So you get 10 different heads. Would have been nice if there's a few more heads than 10 heads. You know, it would have been nice if there was like 15 or 20, but hey ho, for some spares. But yeah, no, they're really nice. The details and stuff on them are really good, and they will tie in really well. They look properly orky. They don't look odd at all. You know how some Cromlech stuff really ties in well and some not so much. But
yeah, some looks really weird, doesn't it? I like some of the old weird Cromlech stuff though.
Yeah, I mean,
the geeky stuff.
They're not the only one that has several different takes on orcs anyway. Like, I mean, even Artel's stuff, like if you look on their website, they've actually got at the moment they've got some sort of like little cutesy orcs as well, like, you know, cartoony looking.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's a couple of those, and then there's also they've done a female orc as well that looks sort of a bit like more like it fits into Warcraft or
titty model.
Titty model.
Actually, if you look, actually they've got 2 versions of a beast boss. They've got one which is all hunched over and typical, sort of looks a bit more like the Incredible Hulk. You know, it's all hulking over and it's and you know, got a sucking look about it. And then they've got another one which is a bit more actually, again, more World of Warcraft looking, sort of more standing upright. And it's got, but the thing I don't like, I mean, they're both about the same size, but what I don't like about that one is his pose looks just a bit feminine. His pose just looks a bit odd. But yeah, if you check it out, there's a good few different styles on there as well. Actually, they've got a few different bits and bobs nowadays, so it's not all just the one style.
I've just ordered a load of Puppets War stuff, heads and bodies, and just a load, just loads of stuff. I've just gone through and just loads of just random bits. I'm just going to knock out a couple of mobs with them.
I've got a card waiting for Puppets War that keeps disappearing. It's annoying. That's why I haven't bought it yet. Actually, cart keeps disappearing. I wish they'd just save your cart. Some websites do, some don't. And I picked it out a few times on there, and there's a lot of pages to go through as well on there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's loads of stuff on there, isn't it? I fancy as well that the Artel dock.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
The Orc Roof Shoulder.
Yeah, I've really fancied that one for a while. I think I might pick that one up as well.
I've got a really cool grot from the green. It's the green one's grots. Don't know who sculpted it, but it is perfect to go with that dock.
Oh, really?
It's like instead of being a servant sort of grot, it's more a little version of the big dock. It's like a little doctor grot, and it's really cool.
Nice. Yeah. Well, as the orderly running as the grot orderly, yeah, that'd be nice.
Play them together,
Nice.
Also, I'll tell you who else I've got. I really like it. It's one of my favourite miniatures. Actually, is actually their
the mech.
Mech, yeah, he's awesome. He really is cool. I love the details on him and that. I was looking at him earlier, going, "Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun painting him." Man, like he's got this light bulb, like an energy thing here, but he's got a light bulb up near his face as well, and so you can have some really cool sort of glow on the side of one of his faces.
Oh, they sell stuff, yeah.
That'd look awesome.
He'd be a good bad ruck proxy, wouldn't he? Not bad ruck, Buzzgob.
I'm going to use him actually. Although he's a mech and that, I'm gonna because I want to paint him and because I want to use him. I'm actually going to use him as a Warboss for a while, just as a Warboss of Powerclaw.
Nice.
It's a cool model.
Well, Buzzgob ain't got rules in Legends, is it? They didn't Legends in today. Is he just gone?
He's just gone.
Completely gone. Oh, that sucks.
Bollocks.
Yeah, I really like my Buzzgob model. Well, still run him as a mech, I suppose, but it's a bit of a shame.
He's generic enough that you can, but you lose his little grot assistance, which is
I like his little assistants. Knit, Knuckle, and Lunk.
We don't have enough sort of grot units really. It's just more grot units that aren't Christmas themed.
I was just about to go.
Just going to do the Easter grot, aren't they?
One for pancake day.
A bad in the Easter bunny. That's what we need. A bad in the Easter bunny, and then it's fair.
Do you know what I'd hate to see, and it would piss me off, and it would be annoying because it's like I'd love to have some new squigs, but I'd hate it if Easter you got like a box of 6 and they're ready. Oh god.
Alice in Wonderland squigs.
I do want.
Silly themed squigs.
I'm sure someone's done that. I mean, Nightmare's got some very characterful squigs. Expensive though. I think it's like nearly 50 quid for 10.
I wish they'd been in some of the old ones. You know, like in the old days, you had like different ones. Like there's a really cool one. It's still one of my favourites. It's like a little furry one that looks like a gremlin. It's got like a little smile and his little furry one. I love that one.
They're called growlers, so that's why they haven't come back.
Yeah. Bring back the grass squigs. Oh.
The growler's gonna get us.
He means a vag.
No. What you got in that coffee, Dim?
Exhaustion.
Yeah. I decided actually I was thinking about squigs for a long while just lately because I haven't painted any of my squigs yet, and I'm like I still don't know what colour, and I was just having this debate with you guys in our own chat, wasn't I? But I think I've decided that I will go red, yellow, and green, but not like vivid. There'll still be like very natural skin tones, and I'll say that the tribe, the Ferals tribe that are out on the fringes on the Badlands on my planet, they go out looking for the squigs and they collect the squigs, and obviously the other crews that fly the cruisers and that, like, they like squigs that are obviously the colours of the tribe, so they particularly do buy those ones, so they know that the ferals will go off and look for them ones. They, you know, it's the quota, so that's what they bring. But I'd say that the green ones would be like the really bitey, like the proper ones, and then the red ones would be the fast ones, and the yellow ones would be the bomb squid ones. Because all my rockets are yellow as well, so like I can just look across. Although I've got yellow on my armor and stuff as well, in patches. Mostly, if I look across the table, I can pick out all my rockets and go, oh, there's rockets there, and there's rockets there. Things that go bang are yellow, so it's just easy for me to find it on the table.
Nice.
Yeah.
I suppose you should think. Huh?
Well, that means that like the Smasher Squig and the Squig Hog Riders, they would be red squigs, which is good because I was worried about having a green skin rider and a green skin squig. But I'm not so worried about it when it comes to like an attack squig being green. That's cool because it's fine. There's other colours on the Orca stuff and it's not as big. And then it gives me a choice when it comes to like big squigs, like squig-offs. You know, like I could do a big red one that's got fucking wheels on the back or something like that, and I could do
a speedy one.
Yeah, the speedy one, and the big. You know, if you've got one that's got a big, massive jaw open, like it'd be a green one. Yellow one, maybe just a big fat one that's loaded up with loads of cannons.
Yeah. All the mortars on his back.
Yeah, all the things that go boom.
Well, I've been going now for coming up 2 3/4 hours.
Probably time to start thinking about winding it up, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it is, yeah.
I think my feet are about to fall off. It's getting cold in the garage, so yeah.
Does anybody have any final thoughts? Anything you want to mention before we go?
Fill your barrels, you gits.
All right, Scar.
That was your idea all along, was it, Trent?
It was my idea all along, exactly.
The world of solid barrels.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing Steve-O
is a bastard.
Did Steve-O bug out earlier? He must have done because we've been going for quite a while. Just thinking, the anxiety.
Well, if
he
you are still in the
can't
chat,
see what's up.
If you are still in the chat, thank you very much for joining.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Appreciate it. Bit of an ad hoc episode tonight, just to
can't enjoy the chat with you
fill
guys.
some gaps. Yeah, he's enjoyed the meandering witterings of 4 old senile gits.
Old, grumpy, miserable, and 3 other people that aren't me.
Miserable, grumpy git dread, who's forever youthful and still 20 something.
Oh yeah, of course he's still there. He's got to be watching.
It's easy to understand why people hate long goodbyes, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, enough said.
See you later.
Bye.
Catch you on the next one.
And I've got to go and do the thing.
Now we're going to sit here and make small chat while he goes and switches it off.
We've all said goodbye, and now Dim's
No, like police story, freeze. Credits.